Painkiller Ready, episode 503 with our guests Tom and Juji Taylor.
Very excited to have you guys on. I really like your channel, have for a long time. We're sponsored tonight by Honey, Bluechew, and SmartMouth, 3 awesome companies we're going to hear from a little bit later. But for now, thank you guys for coming on. And number one, thank you for having such a cool setup, because there are so many times where we'll have a guest on and it's like, all right, we're getting this person. And then they show up on an iPhone 4S with it turned, vertically. And it's like, oh God, what are we? And then we have
I'm heading to the studio.
Yeah, literally last week we had a guy on the show. he was supposed to call in. He's on his phone in the back of an Uber.
Yeah.
What? Really? What the fuck is wrong with you?
In the back of an Uber?
Yeah. He's like, people were like, this is a podcast, hundreds of thousands of people. We want the quality to be good. I'm like, mother trucker, if I was on a phone call with you, I would hang up. I would say, call back later. This is bullshit. It was bad.
He turned around. He's like, yeah, he's my Uber driver, Mahmood. And just showed the back of the guy's
what's
head.
up, Mahmood?
But anyway, we get into you guys now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I got into your channel quite a bit ago, and a lot of the videos I watched initially were you like setting up that big garage gym. I think you're in a totally different space now. I watched that one as well. But
it's
like
always a new garage gym.
Yeah, it was. I was like living vicariously through your purchases, where like I wouldn't even know what to do with a lot of the equipment, but I'm like, God, it looks so nice. He's got the Rogue barbell, the Rogue rack. Just that's got to be sick. No wonder you look like you do.
It's my job. It's kind of my job. It's how the money is made. Man, wait until you see what we got coming in the next couple months. I'm building a 4,000 square foot home gym on a property where I already have a barn gym and then I have a basement gym. So I'm going to have 3 gyms on my property in October.
Well, you clearly need to up your workout regimen.
I lost sound, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Did he?
Okay, I can hear him again.
Okay, we're good. So I like how you don't do the normal fitness thing where it's all just, hey, you want to know the right form for a bench? You'll do stuff like, I'm going to go arm wrestle mountain climbers for the fuck of it.
Yeah,
like that's great. I love when you do that, especially when you lose to someone who's so much smaller than you. It's just,
I was going to introduce him as an accomplished mountain climber.
Like they're pound for pound, like you 40, 50, 60 pound less than me. Just what is going on over here? I got this cord hooked up to my headphones and it's just like it's unplugging, it's plugging up. It's arm wrestling is like if you could think of something that's bad for your body, like smoking, it's like smoking for your lungs, like 2 packs, 3 packs, 4 packs a day for your arms. That's what arm wrestling.
Is that bad for you? Uh-oh.
It would seem so.
Fuck.
Well, I don't know how long it's going to take them to come back, but whenever we get a break, whenever we really cover him completely, I want to talk about that explosion in Beirut, because that was fucking insane.
What do you think that was? I only watched like one video of it.
That was prilled ammonium nitrate stored in a fucking warehouse. They've done the math. It's the biggest tannerite explosion in fucking history. I don't know what got mixed with the tannerite to like activate it, or no, it's not tannerite. The ammonium nitrate to activate it. Like Oklahoma City, it was fuel oil, and it creates this whole compound when you mix fuel oil with ammonium nitrate. I don't know what could have mixed with that. And it was in these bags. And don't think like the kind of bag like you throw over your shoulder. Think the kind of bag that would fill up like a small Toyota pickup truck, like the rear of it. One bag of it. Like think of one of those bags that they put foam peanuts in, but 10 times bigger than that, full of ammonium nitrate.
Let me lay out what happened, because I think Taylor doesn't know, and probably a lot of viewers don't too. There was a ship filled with ammonium nitrate. There's a giant ship. It had thousands of kilograms of ammonium nitrate. And then something went wrong with the ship, some sort of technical problem that wasn't detailed. They were going to Mozambique, and they had to stop in Beirut. And then they got to Beirut. The thing never got approved. They realized it was dangerous to keep all this ammonium nitrate on a ship. So then they put it in a warehouse. And it just sat in a warehouse for years. Years. It sat in a warehouse as they like tried to sort of figure out like, what to do about it. And Shit, I get my videos all fucked up. But it sat there in this warehouse for years, and then something sparked it or hit
Wait,
it or what have you.
just
and
forgot
it blew up.
they had tons of explosives.
Well, they
How do you
didn't
forget
forget.
that?
It's one of those like it's the main port of Beirut. I'm sure there's warehouses with like full of fucking goat feed next door that are just like, oh yeah, they never came back for their goat feed and it's just sitting there.
So
Like
people are chalking it up to an accident, is what I'm hearing.
Almost
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah.
This stuff was
Well, I
sitting
mean,
there for years.
Yeah, it's definitely an accident. There was a fire that like led up to it, and like I said, I don't understand the chemistry behind what made it like go boom finally, because like ammonium nitrate just is super stable. Like you can burn it, you can shoot it, you can do anything you want to with it, and it won't go off without a second chemical being added to it. And there's a lot of chemicals that you can add to it that will make it explosive, but something clearly got added to it. And the fact that it had been sitting that long means that instead of these nice little prilled pellets of ammonium nitrate that are loose in a bag, it would have, through humidity getting in there and like leaving over and over, it would have turned into these gigantic bricks of ammonium nitrate, which makes it much more explosive.
Really?
Yeah, because like the ammonium nitrate's like 0.42% efficient as far as explosions go. Like almost all of it gets like scattered and wasted when it goes off. And that's why like whenever I would use ammonium nitrate, like you wouldn't just like pile it up on the ground and shoot it, because then like the blast in the middle would just scatter all the pellets and the ammonium nitrate that's around the edges. It would just be thrown away instead of igniting and burning and exploding. So you'd want it like held tightly with something else, with something on the outside. You want it in a box of some kind. I won't get into too many details, but you'd want it like held together tightly.
Yeah.
And
You saw
this
the
was held
size of
together.
that explosion, though. Like the amount of explosive it would take to do that. Like, how do you just sit on that and not anticipate this if it can just accidentally happen? Like, did you see the before and after photo? I saw that as well, where it's like an entire chunk of land is just in the sea now. It's just gone.
Yeah, it was like a peninsula, and now there's just a gigantic crater. And like the hotel next door completely destroyed. One of our patrons, he had family in that hotel.
Oh, fuck. Are they okay?
Yeah, they're okay, but some of his friends aren't.
I heard people like 10 miles away or 5 miles away, like glass.
120 miles away. They heard it in Cyprus.
That's good.
Jesus Christ. So like across the entire Mediterranean.
Did you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
Welcome back.
Yeah. We'll go back to this later.
Yeah,
I'll find some
we'll go
content so we can like see the vapor cloud and the craters and stuff. Because like, look, it's a horrific event. Over 100 people have died, clearly, but I mean, if an asteroid hit, we'd want to see the crater too. Like this is nuts.
Bang it out.
What's the thing with so nobody thinks this is like a nefarious act? Everybody's
Only
like,
Donald
all right.
Trump.
Only Trump thinks it was a bomb that somebody dropped. It fucking.
Oh, I'm not even going like a political angle. I didn't know. Like,
No, it literally
he
is
said
only
it,
Donald
yeah.
Trump.
Only Donald Trump has leveraged that theory.
all right. Well, we got Tom and Juji back. Very, very happy.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the. Glad you're here. I want to go back
Thank
to the
you.
arm wrestling thing. You said arm wrestling is the equivalent of smoking 3 packs a day for your arms, basically, or your shoulders, your tendons, everything.
Everything, man. My arms have never been so effed from anything. I mean, our bodies actually. It the problem is when you have a sport that causes damage to your body. Oftentimes, it doesn't carry over into other sports. Like, oh man, like this is like hurting me, but I can still do all this other stuff. Arm wrestling, it took over. I was like, wow, I can't even move my arm like this. It hurts, which means I can't do flips. I'm not arm wrestling people. I'm just trying to like jump up in the air, and my arms are just ringing in pain. It's like you have a toothache.
You couldn't even do the dishes.
You could,
actually.
yeah.
You do like you'd reach for a heavy Pyrex bowl, and you just get arm pain for like an hour, and it was
It's no joke.
it's bad. Yeah,
And you guys still are doing it.
No.
You're done with arm wrestling.
COVID, bro. We can't arm wrestle during
For
COVID.
about a year and a half, we worked with it, and we just kept coming back to it. But it was a curse. It was like the curse that just kept coming. And I took a good break from it for about 5 months, and now our lives are really good.
Yeah, much better.
That's good. I remember when you guys were way into the grip strength thing. I think that was when I was watching your channel the most. And those little innocent looking things. I ordered a couple online, being like, I bet I can close at least a couple of these.
Mhm.
It is the most humbling thing to try and use those grippers and just realize, oh no, like, no, you're way weaker than you thought you were. It's discouraging.
Yeah, it is. We have a company that makes them, and only one person has completed the level 6, and he's an Icelandic man who's about 400 pounds and just does it in his basement for hours and hours by himself. So
You can't.
What have I
compete with
said a
that.
million times? Iceland, Northern Europeans, we're fucked. We can't compete with those Icelandic fucks. But you're also the the largest human I've ever seen do an actual backflip. I thought the first video I saw where you're like, I'm going to do a backflip. I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's going to do a backflip. I wonder what the bit is. Like, how on earth are you still able to do that with how much you weigh? Like, just practice constantly?
Yeah, well, I've just been doing flips since I was like 14, 15. I'm 34, so, you add the mass later, and I've just been holding on to dear life to keep it because I love the flips, man. I love doing the moves, the skills, the aerials, the kicks and stuff. It's great. But so is looking jacked. So
yeah, yeah, looking jacked is probably the best part of it, especially with like your forearms have to be outrageous with all that grip strength stuff. All the I like watching
all the grip strength
where it'll be like, we're going to do an 8-hour arm workout and I'll be like overeating while I'm watching it. Like, yeah, I could hang. I could do this too. I'm going to eat a whole bag of dill pickle flavored Lay's while I watch them work out. But no, I'm totally good.
The 8-hour arm workout was from Rich Piana. And I think the worst part for me actually wasn't the fact that you had to do 16 workouts in 8 hours. It was the fact that you had to drink 16 protein drinks.
it was bad.
By the
bowels.
14th drink, I just walked out in my woods and just threw my guts out everywhere. And I come back into the garage. Oh man, I guess we got to do the 14th workout now.
Yeah. But our friend Antoine Vaillat, who's a professional bodybuilder, he was just enjoying every one of those drinks. He was drinking mine. Yeah, he had like 24 of them, which was like, I think it came out to be like 700 grams of carbs.
Yeah, like 700 grams of carbs from just like sugar water.
Yeah, and he was eating as well. But that workout was just a mental thing. Like, I think the arm stopped doing anything, and the muscles just stopped, and then the tendons were just being used for the last like 6 hours of that.
Gone long ago.
Yeah, that was something.
No, I really like your guys' content. It's motivating in a way, but in a fun, silly way. Like when I watch, like when you guys have Brian Shaw on, it's just like almost discouraging where you're like, this person is just a mountain of a human. I can't ever hope to, if I worked every day as hard as I could, diet perfect the rest of my life, I'm not scratching the surface of a third of his lifts. So, and seeing him next to you what was that like the first time you met Brian Shaw? Because you're a big fucking guy. You're strong as shit. It must have been kind of otherworldly to be like, oh my God, this guy's doubling me up on a lot of stuff. He's just huge.
Yeah, that's the way you feel around the 6'9" strongmen. Yeah, Brian's 6'9", Thor Bjornson's 6'9".
The Mountain
from Game of Thrones. I think Thor is probably the biggest one to stand next to. That guy's just
he is.
There's something.
What do you think about that fight that they're going to have? I think Eddie Hall is going to fight Thor.
Man, they've been preparing for it for a while, and they're going to continue to prepare for it for another year and a half.
Dude, I think
when is the fight? Is it like 2022?
We made a bet on it. Remember I told you I was going to bet you like $500 that Thor would post 150 Instagram pictures of just him in boxing gloves up until the fight. It's like, I don't know, maybe today I post boxing glove photo. But
no, seriously,
I mean, I'm not saying that Thor is gonna win heavy favorite, and I've bet on Thor to win, but that's who I believe.
I bet it's gonna be a lot of them hanging on to each other. I bet it's gonna be a lot of that.
Do they have to go 4 rounds? I don't know how long it is. That's like the key factor here.
3 or 4, I would guess. Do they wear headgear? That's also a big question.
I don't know if the headgear fits them.
Right. Well, the gloves don't fit them either, so they're having some made.
Brian, or the Mountain's head. He's like 6.
Eddie Hall's tall too.
Eddie Hall's 6'3" or 2. Yeah. But Thor has a reach advantage, like a very large reach advantage.
Undeniably.
So-
But watching Eddie Hall amongst the other strongman competitors made me think he was 5'6", and that's not the case at all.
Right.
They're just all the other ones just that much bigger.
Yeah.
I won't watch it if they wear headgear. Headgear is so lame. I'm not going to watch if they wear headgear. I'm also not going to watch Tyson fight if they wear headgear.
Oh, why
interested
not?
in that.
Who's Tyson fighting?
Roy Jones Jr.
Is he also an older guy or no?
Yeah.
He retired 2 years ago, so he's kind of in fighting shape.
Not as,
He hung
old as
on for a
Tyson.
long time, but he hasn't been out of the game like Tyson
I
has.
see some training clips of Tyson. He's fast as crap still, man.
Yeah.
He looks
Scary
very fast.
person.
I'm really suspicious. You know what? George
I'm a
Foreman
conqueror.
made me suspicious.
Conqueror.
George Foreman's like, he sees what he wants you to see. He's like, there hasn't been a single clip of him for more than 9 seconds so far. And I'm like, he's right. And George Foreman's like, I'm seeing stuff I think other people aren't. Watch his right leg. His right leg's planted. It's not moving like it's supposed to. Watch this, watch that. And I'm like, fuck, George Foreman's doing analysis on this. And I'm telling you, so I've done a tiny bit of boxing. And even I look faster than I am when I hit mitts. Those mitts meet you halfway, right? They make you look fast because the guy's coming at you. I can sit there and hold my hand still, and with a good mitt guy touching them, it looks like I don't suck. That's
Where's George Foreman analyzing this? This is what I want to know. Is he just doing Instagram stories?
It was YouTube. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he's just bitter
great.
about the fucking ear. That's all that is.
You're thinking of not George Foreman, Evander Holyfield.
Oh, it was Holyfield. That's right.
Yeah. So they never fought. It was
Yeah.
George Foreman talked to Muhammad Ali. I was just watching this. And Muhammad Ali, like during his comeback, he's like, "Don't fight Tyson. Don't do that. Don't do that." He's like, "That guy hits too hard. You don't want none of that." Anyway, yeah. So I'm just suspicious. I think that a lot of people can post 9-second clips and look better than they are. I think that when we watch Tyson fight a full fight, there's going to be a huge gap between who he was and who he is.
What I like about Mike Tyson the most is that in his mid to late 40s, he decided now's the time for a tribal facial tattoo. Usually that's an impulse thing in your 20s, not him. Not
People
him.
asked
Late
why.
40s.
He said, it's because I don't like my face. And it was like, oh, that... Well, this is a little sad.
I don't like my
That is
face.
sad.
I have a funny story about Lee Priest is a pro bodybuilder from the 90s and early 2000s. He stopped competing, but Lee Priest has a bunch of tattoos. He's got a big tribal facial tattoo. He had it for about maybe 20 years, and then he recently got it removed, and all his fans are like making fun of him for it. Like, oh, you see, face tattoos are dumb. And Lee's response was, I'm getting a different one. He's just getting a new one.
I mean, so we can be fair, facial tattoos are dumb. If Mike Tyson asked what I thought, I'd be like, that's so cool, man. I love it.
I want one too. He's like, oh, good. I got my gun right here.
Got my gun right here. You gonna let me tattoo you up here?
Hope I have enough ink.
Imagine that you're laying there
it.
just terrified of Mike Tyson tattooing your face.
Have you seen Mike Tyson punk Dana White?
Yeah.
No, what do you do?
They're on Dana White's private plane, if I remember it right. Kyle, tell me if I get anything wrong. Dana White's sitting there, and Mike Tyson's walking down the hallway of this plane that seats like 12. It's a nice private plane. And Mike Tyson is like, you, get out of my seat, to Dana White. And Dana White's like, huh, all right then.
He's like, I like this seat. Mike's like, I like it better.
Did you really say that?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that was set up for Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
silly,
even.
silly little video.
I didn't. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I bought that.
Wait, so
yeah.
Mike Tyson's setting up physical things on Instagram and comedy. So what's his life right now? Do we even know what he's like? Is the whole cannabis thing set up too? Because he has that venture, and then after going through this cannabis business venture, now he's deciding to fight. It's like kind of a odd
I didn't
timeline.
I didn't know he was a
fighting.
fighting guy.
Oh, he's made a lot
Yeah.
of money from the cannabis stuff. I think he's fighting because he just wants to fight.
Yeah, this is indica. It's called knockout. I mean, I guarantee he has a strain called knockout.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'd smoke Mike Tyson's weed. Give it a go.
Yeah, he has cannabis resorts is what his thing is. He's like putting a whole hotel and I don't know, tennis courts and boxing
Does he need
Courts at a
money?
hotel.
Boxing.
No. Well, he needed money before the cannabis thing.
I'm not convinced that resorts are making a lot of money right now.
Yeah,
need money?
not the resort, the cannabis though. I'm convinced that marijuana is making tons of money right now.
Okay, no, I didn't understand. So it's not just a hotel resort thing.
No, that's part of it.
Oh, okay.
I thought Mike Tyson made like $100 million.
Yeah, but Don King took most of it.
Yeah.
What did Don King do with all that money?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hair products.
Is Don King alive still?
I
don't fucking know. I hope not.
I'll fact check it. Let's see.
But yeah, I think he
alive.
did that HBO special a while back. Mike Tyson did, and that was really good. I thought I liked that a lot. Him just telling stories and talking on stage, and then he came out with the cannabis thing and made just a shit ton of money. And he's got a podcast too that's really successful. I don't think he's hurting for money one bit.
I think he was hurting for money, and then he did that comedy thing with HBO, like his life story, and that started an upward trajectory. I just kind of wondered because he's fighting and he's doing a lot of stuff. Like, I know he might just be ambitious.
Who is listening to the Mike Tyson podcast?
It's good.
What could he possibly have to say?
His Joe Rogan podcast episode was great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know he was on Joe Rogan.
Did you see his HBO special?
No.
Really good.
Yeah, so that was like sort of how he did his comeback. And he tells his story. It's a version of events you haven't heard before, like his side of the rape thing, his side of the fight thing, the ear biting, etc. And while he does it, there's like still photos or maybe even some video behind him to, I don't know, highlight what he's talking about. And it's super good. And this is a guy who you'd think would be a terrible public speaker, but no, he's a good. He's effective. It's good.
That is surprising to me. I would imagine he'd be incredibly bad at speaking, especially like boxers when they get older always sound retarded because they just get bashed in their whole lives.
Tyson, he
did a lot more bashing than bashed in.
Not the second half, but anyway, yeah, he speaks as well as he ever did, which is to say 5 out of 10.
Oh,
damn.
But he hasn't lost a point, so he's got that.
Nice. That's what they say. If you're a 5 out of 10 speaker, start a podcast.
It's a good podcast. It really is, and he gets really good guests.
It's all right. Well, of course it is. Are you going to turn down an invitation to Mike Tyson's podcast? I wouldn't. I'd be scared.
Right?
God, no.
A lot of what makes a good podcast is not your speaking ability, but your life story, right? It's the journey that you've taken. You know, if you've had some real highs, some real lows, that makes for a good thing to listen to. And it gives you some introspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder what age Mike Tyson would have to be for me to feel confident fighting him.
Ooh, yeah, there will be a time when you can totally kick his ass, Taylor. I don't think it's now.
No, man.
No,
it's certainly not now.
No. But Taylor, are you 27, Taylor?
I'm 29.
Okay. Yeah, so Taylor's 29. Tyson is he 45? Does that sound right?
So he's scaling with age, and you're staying the same age you are right now.
No, we need to scale them both, but there will be a time.
Then I don't think there's a time. Then
like
I don't.
No. Why do you think Tyson's going to live that long? Look at his track record.
All right, so Tyson is 54 and Taylor's 29. So let's add 30 years.
20 years. 30 years.
30. Yeah. So Taylor will be, is it 59 versus 84? I like
This
it.
is a lot of,
I like
this is a lot of confidence in my ability to not get fat.
That could be good. It could be.
84-year-old Tyson is still going to be a ripped guy.
84-year-old. You think he's married?
84-year-old Tyson isn't going to be around.
I think he's going to be a corpse, but
84-year-old Tyson has been dead for 7 years.
Yeah, there, exactly.
We need to set this up a few days before death. I want to really maximize our odds.
He gets like stage 4 pancreatic. I got him.
Right? Forget 84. Make it 74. That's as long as he's going to live, right? And then we get 59-year-old Taylor. Did I do that right? No, 49. 49.
49. I think that's a pretty prime
49
age
versus 74.
That's a pretty,
look out, Mike.
hits their prime at 49.
Yeah. I'm 47,
maybe you're fighting prime.
Right? 47 isn't completely unable to move. And
you're going to hit your prime in just a couple more years.
in 2 more years, I'm peaking. but yeah, 49-year-old Taylor versus 74-year-old Tyson. I'm putting the house on you, Taylor.
74-year-old Tyson, he won't know what room he's in, much less anything else. I got him. I'll convince him it's a doctor's appointment and blindside him.
It's a good
With
strategy.
a chair, something like that. Yeah, he's already half retarded. He'll make it the whole way there, way before 74. You disagree, Kyle? Really?
No,
Yeah.
I agree with all of that.
How did I say it mean?
You did say it mean, but I don't care about that, obviously. I just think it's going to be a long time before Mike Tyson is down to the level of like mere mortals.
74?
I still think
I don't know.
74
If he
at
keeps
7
working
years.
out, if he keeps working out and stays active, like the guy doesn't work out right now. This is just genetics. Genetics have carried him to this point.
He's a genetic freak. No one can argue
I
that.
saw him work out for 9 seconds.
There you go. Like he's only stopped like he hadn't done anything boxing related for a very long time. Like hadn't hit any heavy bags or anything like that. The man doesn't run. Like he doesn't do any of that stuff. The genetics have carried him to this point, looking like he looks right now. I just don't see him falling off the edge of the earth in the next 15 or 20 years.
I saw a video of him like shadow boxing in an Applebee's, like just for no reason, just showing what he could do, just
getting free appetizers.
any appetizers.
Oh, my bad.
Here's where I'm coming from. What does an average NFL player live to? Like 60 or something? Like it takes years off their lives.
32. Yeah.
Sounds right. so
How old is Arian Foster? Around there. Yeah.
I feel like 74. Like I don't know if Tyson will even live that long. As much as he was the guy that dished out the punishment, he took a punch. I saw Lennox Lewis fight.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but he didn't take damage. All
Long.
right, how long did Muhammad Ali live? Tyson didn't take nearly as much damage as Muhammad did. Muhammad Ali.
No.
When he died. No. Ali was getting battered after he came back from Nam. So he lived to 74.
74.
Yeah, but did you see videos of him at 74?
He
He's
knew
like
that
blowing,
he was.
he's blowing spit bubbles. He's
Yeah,
not
he
doing
was.
anything.
Well, the Parkinson's didn't help.
Oh no, he had
Never
Parkinson's.
does. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Ronnie
Taylor.
Coleman though. Ronnie Coleman has he's like the bat. If you look like a boxer's head injuries and an NFL player's head injuries, then these bodybuilders' back injuries. He's had like 19 back surgeries, and he's
Wow.
barely ticking. Like
Is he barely ticking, or has he made like another comeback? It's possible I have my videos
no.
out of order, but I thought Ronnie Coleman looked good right now.
He
in the
always
right
looks pretty
lighting.
good in my opinion, but he doesn't look like as good as a lot of other people.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him at wheelchairs at Fit Expos, and then we've seen him walking around and I don't know,
You
flexing.
don't know which Ronnie you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wheelchair Ronnie or walking Ronnie.
I saw him not long after his surgery, and he looked super bad. It was like, oh my goodness, like was it worth it? Were those highs worth this low? And then I saw him a few months later, and maybe I just saw the best moment of him because it was like, damn, he's back in the gym and he's looking fit.
Yeah, I see him here. Like fit is a good descriptor. You know, like he looks like the big dude at the gym, but he doesn't look like the greatest bodybuilder who ever lived, which is what he is. Like he looks like the big dude at the gym now.
I mean, you could compare it to Arnold. Arnold looks like Arnold has gone like he's been a little like fat Arnold at the beach, but then he's like ripped Arnold at times. And
You know why he was fat Arnold at the beach though? He had fucking open heart surgery. That was a mean picture they took.
oh, that's mean.
Yeah, he just had fucking open heart surgery. He couldn't do anything for months and months. And they're like, look, Arnold's lost it. I feel like Stallone like funded that whole paparazzi campaign.
Jesus Christ. No, Arnold was just in bulking season. I myself am on year 3 of a continuous bulk. I need these chips for glycogen. I need to refuel my muscles with fried potatoes. Oh man, that's the hardest part. So Juji, when did you get really into lifting and fitness and whatnot? Like it's clear you did probably when you were much, much younger, but when did it become a total obsession and just passion?
Pretty much immediately. I mean, it was instant. When I started training when I was 14, it just changed everything for me. I started lifting weights when I was like 15 because my parents got me a gym membership across the street. They're like, oh, stay there until we pick you up after school. I was like, you can work out or you can just sit there. I was like, well, why wouldn't I just try working out? I just started lifting weights. I'm like, damn, I loved it. I can't remember not liking it when I started it. Yeah.
Have you had like any long-term injuries from it? Do you have a back that always gets you, an elbow that's always troublesome? Like, has it all been good?
It's all been good. I've had a lot of injuries because it's just the amount of time I've been doing it, but I'm really smart with injuries. So I'm pretty good at, I'm better than most people at taking care of that type of thing.
In the circles that you sort of travel in, do you ever see those guys with the synthol arms and stuff?
I put synthol in somemon's arm before, actually.
What the fuck?
Wait.
Well, how do you get it in your tricep? I don't know. Jesus Christ! Can you do it for me? So then you get a giant 5 ml syringe full of coconut oil from Dave Palumbo's website.
Yeah.
And you just stick it in the dude's tricep and just like, this is that's a lot of oil. I know you're big, but this is still a lot of oil going into
Not big enough. Come on.
Do you not feel it? Do you not feel it? Do you want me to heat it up before I put it in your arm?
Juji, tell me if you agree with this. I feel like synthol is a little like CGI in that, like,
I never heard that one.
hear me out. If you use too much of it, or if it's not done well, it's grotesque and obvious and terrible. However, if you use it right, if you get it just the right doses, like people who are 90% bicep and 10% thin synthol, pull it off, and people don't even know it was synthol. It's just a little extra.
Yeah, from what I understand about it, it actually helps muscle grow. Like, it's not just like temporary cosmetic you put into muscle, and there's a lot of pressure it puts there, and then it's that pressure is what signals the muscle cells to start growing. So it could actually augment muscle growth, I think, in itself. It's not just like something that's there that makes it look bigger. So, but if you do it poorly, it starts leaking out of your shoulder when you're on stage. A big white pus just coming down your shoulder, when you're sitting there doing it. No. Google image synthol accident posing.
What
routine,
if it's not sterile? Like, what if it's not sterile when you put it in there? And
then you're effed. Yeah, you're in a lot of trouble then, I'm sure.
I mean, Juji tried synthol on his ankles. He's always been wanted bigger.
Why would you put synthol on your ankles?
Bigger ankles.
I never even thought about that. That's pretty good.
A lot of these people using synthol clearly do not work out at all.
Oh, a lot of them.
Are injecting a huge amount. There's this guy in Russia. And this is it says he might have to have both arms amputated unless he the amount of synthol he has.
Good.
What an absolute asshole.
Taylor, I saw have you ever seen the slap contests? I probably Kyle has.
Another one where the
synthol kid was in that.
So there was a synthol guy in it. Maybe Juji saw it too, and I think I just heard him. And I'm like, what are you doing here? All these people have real muscles, and you have synthol arms. What? Have you deluded yourself into thinking those arms are strong?
I saw an MMA fighter with synthol arms, and it was he comes out and he's got the giant synthol arms, and the other guy's just like looks like a fucking Russian killer or something like that, and he's just like, I'm gonna fuck you up. He does. He just beats the shit out of the guy, and the guy's laying there with his big balloon arms, like fucking Popeye on his face.
Yeah. So we're all thinking of terrible synthol. But Juji, is it right that a lot of people use synthol and they just lack a little definition but they used it in moderation?
I had no idea that it actually helped muscle growth. I thought it was like purely a vanity thing for people who wanted larger muscles. And the people who inject it into their chest.
So Taylor, I was
just looks like tits.
It's the extreme cases that everyone sees that look really bad, but we know a handful of bodybuilders that just use small amounts that just make lagging body parts look a little bit better.
Just keep a gnome in the closet to put it in their triceps when no one else is around.
Right?
This is my synthol gnome over here. I give him a name. We'll name him Larry. Larry the synthol gnome. Come over here, load it up, put it in I can't reach back there. What if you had to stick it on your lats or something? I don't know how you get it back there.
You'd have to have a friend.
In the same way that you don't notice good CGI, you don't notice good synthol. You just think that that's true. His 6 abs are all the same size for some reason.
Call me crazy, but I don't think it's synthol.
Oh God!
I'm just thinking of all the crazy places you can put it now. You were mentioning your ankles. You're talking about putting your abs.
It's why my dick is 14 inches long. I ever think about people doing this is like arms, shoulders. I guess they put in their legs too. Yeah, I never even thought about that. God, let's just
let's just get a second
That's
mortgage.
fucking gross.
Yeah, let's get some synthol, bro. Let's do it soon.
Tom, it's been, I've watched the channel long enough to see you kind of get into lifting a bit, and you're noticeably way bigger than you were just a couple years ago. Were you resisting for a bit when you started the channel, getting into lifting the way Juji was, and then you finally gave in, or were you always kind of behind the scenes lifting with him?
I was always behind the scenes, but I did not live in the same place as Juji for the first about year we worked together. I lived in New York, he lived in North Carolina, and I would just travel back and forth. So I think I was doing yoga a lot. I think I did a lot of handstands, and that doesn't make you that much bigger, you know? So I've always been pretty fit, but I didn't do bodybuilding or arms or anything like that till I worked with John. And then I just kind of got around all these guys and realized I needed to be a little bit bigger to be somewhat less smaller than them. So
The math checks out.
Well, that's a difficult challenge, because a lot of the videos you're doing, you're like, hey, here I am with Juji, who's huge and ripped, and here I am with a 6'10" power lifter and another 6'8" power lifter, and you just got to feel like a bitch standing next to all of them, right?
See, I'm like the Chihuahua with massive amounts of confidence and no reason to have any fear of looking like an idiot. I mean, I've been ridiculed across all of the fitness channels for looking like I sat like this this one. I sat like this on Brian Shaw's channel, and I mean, there were 90% of the comments were just telling me how gay I was.
That's understandable. I hate when you sit like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I like
Especially in
when
the
I
shorts.
sit like that. Yeah, the shorts.
The shorts don't help even a
What's
little.
about these shorts? What's the problem?
You didn't have anything less manly to wear?
I felt comfortable in these guys.
No.
You look good. Your quads are looking big.
Nice.
Your taters are filling in.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, these are the longest shorts I have. So
You got those Bruce Jenner shorts over here.
Hey, it's a
Caitlyn Jenner shorts now.
Bruce Jenner wore those though. Caitlyn has a
I
different
suspect
wardrobe.
Caitlyn might have them.
Yeah, Caitlyn didn't have it until the 2000s. Yeah, you're right. Those are Bruce Jenner.
No, Caitlyn Jenner shorts are much more manly than those.
oh, thanks. But that's the thing, is that we get a lot of comments like, why am I in this video and why am I doing this stuff? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. We Juji and I just put ourselves in this place, and then I'm just working out with these guys, and I don't really I understand that Thor's the strongest man in the world, but I'll still try to pick up a stone, some natural stone in a weird Icelandic place with him, and I think that's what makes it fun.
There's a vibe in your channel that I like, where you guys look, Juji in particular, like you can alpha 99% of the time. But on your videos, you find yourself in the beta role a whole lot. Like, hey, here I'm gonna mountain climb with a professional mountain climber, and there's no there's no lack of humility there. It's like, this guy's actually better at this than me. Or here, I'll try strongman contest against the strongest man in the world, and I dig it. It's a cool, humble vibe. It's a good show.
I do like that vibe about your guys' channel a lot, but also it's like it'll be Juji with some 110-pound rock climber. I remember watching those videos and being really interested. That kid was great at rock climbing.
I'm looking at it.
At the end of the day, when you walk out of the rock climbing gym, he's a 115-pound kid, and you look like an Adonis. You're just enormous walking out of there, and that's what you prefer.
I remember Juji. Help me with the guy's name. I'm so bad with it. Is it Magnus? He's
Magnus,
yeah. Oh, that guy's so cool. I really
probably
like
a small
great
guy.
YouTube channel.
So here I'm
Little
still
Magnus,
going.
they call him.
Yeah, Magnus is amazing, man.
When your parents name you Magnus, you really only have one career path, right? Like,
yeah. So you need to sail to England and steal virgins.
Yeah.
So Magnus is wearing a vest that makes him the same weight as Juji, and he still outclimbed him. And I was like,
I was so excited that video, man.
That was a cool
because I was
video.
like, finally, it's even. Like now I'm like super motivated to like really be competitive. I like to be competitive, but sometimes it's like there's no way I can even move Devin Laird's arm in an arm wrestling match. It's just like let's go. Let's but you're not going to get anywhere. I freaking thought I was going to get somewhere with this. I wasn't even close. Him putting a weight vest on, I was like, I honestly thought in my head that I might be able to beat him. He whipped my ass.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't know where to put my money before watching that video, right? Because you got a lot of strength on him, but he still won.
Very little technique on him.
He ran a V6 or a V7 wall wearing a 110-pound vest or something.
Yeah, and you say Juji has no technique, but it was not his first day climbing, right? He's had some coaching. He's better than he used to be.
A little bit.
You know,
yeah. I mean, I was okay. I wasn't too bad.
It was definitely his best climbing session ever, actually.
And I still got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because you're kind
fun.
of in that fitness realm of, well, you're in that fitness realm of YouTube. Did you follow that stuff with Athlete X and the fake weights and stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
Some of the comments that got deleted, and
there was
being in a cup comment, and
yeah.
a lot of weird stuff that disappeared because he tried to make it disappear.
Could
you
never
lay out
make
the
anything
history?
off the internet really disappear?
Could you give us a little backstory on that? Like,
Kyle, yeah, will you lay it out? Because I know that you're on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The main person I saw calling him out was Greg Doucette, who's like a notorious fucking fitness channel troll. Like he knows how to get your goat and make you say his name, and that's his fucking goal. And I think that like coming from like a background of gaming, like it's where I originally started. It's like, oh, you don't do that. You don't do that, Athleen. Don't say anything. Just move along. Let the narrative change. Oh, you're posting a comment on his video. Probably not a good idea. Yeah, you could just look at his form. I'm no expert or anything, but you can look at his form sometimes when he's like deadlifting, whatever it is. I'm just making up numbers, but it's heavy-ish, 375 or something, and just kind of see the way he's lowering the weight. It just doesn't look like 375 pounds. The way the bar bends doesn't exactly look right. Like it doesn't look as bending enough. And then there's another time where he's benching like, shit, I don't want to say it's 315 if it's not, but it's a lot. I don't know. It's 3 or 4 fucking plates, and it just doesn't look right when he's doing that.
Oh, Jesus.
And then there's another time where he's got some dumbbells, and it just, I don't know. You can kind of tell when someone's lifting a lot of weight, not by the effort they're exerting, but sort of by like how their muscle fibers are responding to that weight and how their frame has to move in response to that weight. Just the body mechanics of anyone, whether it's an amateur, intermediate, or a fucking professional, are still pretty similar when they're lifting heavy. Like it just has certain effects on your body.
I wouldn't fake it. Like I feel like the he's mostly doing form stuff. So even if he said like, "Hey, this is less weight than I would usually do," just look at how I'm doing it. Like,
I mean, the man's got 10 million subscribers
in hot water.
I don't know why he did it either, because he's like, it doesn't matter how much weight the guy does. Like, he is unequivocally the like most viewed fitness education channel for like 7 years straight, like by far, and he destroys everyone. And so I don't know, and it didn't like, maybe it's just ego and he wants to look stronger, but he doesn't need to. Like, that's the thing is, he really doesn't. His fan base doesn't care. They're like, okay, he has abs, he has chest and arms, and they're like, and he draws on them. That's that thing.
His body is his resume, not his plates, right? This guy makes a living out of being like, I can absolutely destroy your biceps with 5 pounds. And then he finds something. He's like, I bet you can't do 10 pull-ups. And you're like, I totally can. Yeah, each one's a minute long. And it's like, okay, yeah. So like his thing is killing you with lower weights and safely and avoiding injury. Why he would put fake weights on there to make his deadlift look higher. And then I watch buff dudes sometimes. And then those guys demonstrate form. They use weights that are obviously below their strength level. And it doesn't bother me at all. They do perfect form. And that's all I needed. So
those guys are great too. They're
you guys have done stuff with them, haven't you?
We've tried, but
they've got children.
They keep having kids.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
They're really fertile, the buff dudes.
Yeah, married and wives. Yeah,
we met them once.
Did we meet him?
Yeah, we met him at a Fit Expo once. It was exciting. We're all like, yeah. And then everyone else swarms you, and then you don't get to really do anything.
Yeah.
That's somewhere I'm never showing up, at a Fit Expo.
Ooh.
Good plan.
I'm going to go to a local Burger King and feel better about myself. Thank you very much.
I got the Junior Whopper, loser.
Yeah.
I only got 4 nugs, not 10, you fucking lard.
Look at me ordering extra sauce.
And then meanwhile, I'm like sneaking back to the counter, like, I will take 10.
No, man. There's something different about fitness expos. I would rather be in just like a gigantic real life ant farm and just have to live in there. I don't know. It's just
Oh man.
it's a really like, especially Juji gets just accosted. I mean, like there was a time period. So John's been doing the Instagram thing for what, 5 years now? And in the beginning, he didn't have YouTube and we didn't have like our own income sources. And so he would go to these expos, and I still can't believe how much stuff he did for people. He would, women would come up to him and he would pick them up, like 35, 40, 50 women in a day. He would do splits with people, do splits for people. He would do backflips if you asked him to. And he was doing this for like 8 hours straight on concrete.
Yeah, I was a circus animal. I was a circus animal, man. And the thing is that the problem I figured out later, the moment you take one woman and you press her overhead for a picture, all of a sudden every woman in the frickin' room comes to your line, and then you have a 50 rep set. 50 reps overhead pressing women. I remember I threw my back out. Actually, you're talking about me hurting myself.
Oh God!
I've gotten smarter. I'm really pretty smart about like avoiding injuries, but that one fat woman, man.
That's the question, right?
She was I was done. I was tapped out. This is like the 20th woman in a row. And I said, I'm tired. I needed to go take a break. And she would not have it. She was so upset. Yeah. She was like, you have to do this. And I was just like, I don't know. I mean, okay. And I was like, I knew she was too heavy. I knew what my max was. I'd ask every woman. I asked every woman what their weight was. Because, you know, like, hey, you want me to press the overhead? I need to know how much you weigh. She was 185, 190, but she was shaped really.
Oh, that's a big
she was shaped like a ball, which isn't really. I need a longer woman with a little less weight. And
so when you're pressing them like a barbell, like thigh and rib.
There's a technique to it. You tell them to face this way. You scoop them up. You do a flip with your hands, and then you step back. You activate your glutes, and you push, and you press your head through. I know how to do it. There's a technique to it. I figured it out. But, it doesn't work with a bowling ball.
You can't just grab clam and tits and throw them up.
you get a little ass. You get a little ass. You get a little lat. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So you're just sitting there miserable as shit, having to overhead press women all day.
It's my fault, man. I started it. Shit.
Yeah.
So
hey, you learned something that day. So don't do that.
Look, the first time you get attention like that, it feels special. I bet that's gone now, right? Like you don't even want that attention. You wear a disguise if you could.
I've tried to go through the Arnold last year wearing a hoodie and with my head down. I was like, it's got to be the hair, man. They're seeing the damn hair. That's what's drawn them to me. I had a hoodie on and I'm like walking like this, and I just hear a bunch of people go, "Oh, Juji."
Dude, they smell you.
They smell me.
Yeah,
like,
dude. They know your BO.
I'm a dude that's wearing black pants and a black hoodie with black shoes, with my head down, moving really quickly, and they freaking see it.
Sometimes I was standing next to you, so that would kind of give it away.
God damn you!
But
I shouldn't have worn a branded hoodie.
Oh man.
No, that's I get totally what Woody's saying. Like that must be pretty cool the first time a woman's like, throw me over your head. And you're like, this is tight. I'm awesome. The 50th fat bitch. You got to be a little upset.
There's that. And then there's the 50th day, right? There's, now he's a couple years into this ride. And if he could turn invisible, he'd probably activate that a lot.
Yeah, actually, one of the oddest things we have happened to us, because we live in North Carolina, and it happens at the same gas station every time to both of us. People will go, we'll just get random people. They'll say, "Oh, you guys do YouTube, nice. Hey, does Juji live around here?" I'm like, "Oh, no." And they're like, "Oh, does he live like within 5 miles of here?" I'm like, no, he lives like 30 miles away south of here. They're like, So where does he live in Concord? They'll just like they'll start bringing up stuff and just like more and more and more. And I'm like,
that one dude
I can't
at Lowe's,
tell you.
man. That one dude at Lowe's hardware store.
Oh,
that was
God.
the worst. The Lowe's store.
At Lowe's.
The Lowe's store was like, I'm not joking, 100 yards from my house. I lived right behind Lowe's. It was great when I lived there. This one dude sees me there. He knows who I am. And he's like, what are you doing here? He knows I'm at a hardware store. You know, you don't just pass through on a trip. They stop at Lowe's. I'm like, no, you know, I live around here. He goes, like, how close? Just like what Tom's saying. I'm like, oh, you know, nearby. Like, which direction? I'm like, dude, go away. Like, I got my car and watched him leave and drive away so he wouldn't follow me.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Which direction?
Yeah,
Dude, like how far? Does anyone watch your windows at night? Do you have a security system? Do you have ADT? If not, do you have an automatic, like that kind of shit? I remember it was a couple years ago when I lived in St. Louis City. I live in the county now. That my girlfriend and I, we were at my old apartment and we were fucking drunk after some night of partying with some friends and come back and she's like, I'm going to order hot box cookies, which are like cookies they deliver 24/7. And I was like, all right, whatever. I don't really eat sweets. I was munching on Cheez-Its and
you on your high horse.
Me and my high horse. And I go down there to answer the door when I hear it and I open it and I'm drunk and I just like, oh, thanks, buddy. And I'm like signing it on the top, giving him his tip. And he's like, hey, are you Taylor from PKA? And I was like, yeah, please don't tell anyone where I live. And he was like, I won't tell anyone where you live. It's good seeing you. And I'm like, okay. And then just, I would have been nicer, but I was so wasted. I was just like, God. And I went up there and she's eating her cookies. And I'm like, they're going to fucking know where I live now.
No. He's like, well, maybe you could,
they're going to post it on the subreddit, my address.
maybe it could be a generous tip. And
I got recognized not long ago at the
$400
AutoZone.
box of cookies.
And it was like, oh, cool. Got picked. You know, people know me at the AutoZone. This is kind of a neat deal. And then I realized my shirt said Woody's gamer tag on the back. I was like, oh, it doesn't count anymore. You can't do that.
Oh, that could have been a really uplifting day. Top of that. Oh no, it was labeled.
Yeah. So my favorite fitness related videos on YouTube are gym fails. It's either when someone for some reason has decided to put 1,200 pounds and try to deadlift it or try to squat it, or when people are just using machines completely wrong, like they're on the cable machine and they've got a cable in each hand and they're just like bouncing around like it's a kid's game. Have you ever seen any stuff like that in real life?
Nothing that's as bad as a gym fails video. I think a lot of the gym fails videos are fake. People are just doing that, which is fine because it's so funny as hell. I love them anyway. They're great. I was like, oh, I never thought about doing that way. Okay, that's creative. Trying to think of some like weird crap I've seen at the gym before, though.
I mean, look, Juji's had some pretty good gym fails, though, himself.
Me?
Yeah. Maybe not to like that level of thing. The nosebleed one is good.
The nosebleed one.
Where you just kept bleeding out of your nose for a long time.
Deadlift?
No, that was I used to work out at the park on my lunch break at work. I would go to the park and hang up the rings on a swing set, you know, and then I would do gymnastics rings. And I remember I was going through a garlic eating phase where I was eating an entire cluster of garlic every day. It's like crazy. I was trying to keep witches and vampires away. I was really
bet it worked.
And the Roman
Wait,
soldiers,
hold on. You went through a garlic eating phase?
Yeah. I was, and Roman soldiers, they have shields. They keep the garlic, you know, it's like an amulet. It protects you. So garlic is really good luck. So I was eating a cluster of it a day and I was prone to nosebleeds.
Don't you laugh at him? There were no witches at all.
No, there are. My boss was a witch. She was a Russian
I wouldn't
witch.
laugh at him in person.
And, the garlic thins your
Say
blood.
what I want. We're separated.
I get up on these rings and I just go upside down and I hear this sound. And it's both nostrils popping. And then blood just starts gushing in the back of my throat. I'm upside down. I'm like, okay, I get off the rings. I go sit down. I'm at a park by myself. And like, this is like, I've been having a nosebleed every day for like a week. And I'm tired of doing this and swallowing blood and feeling sick. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and watch it bleed out. So I just sat there and just watched this puddle of blood form for like 10 minutes and it just wouldn't stop. And then I started getting lightheaded. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to work now and tell my boss I probably need to go to the hospital. So I go back to work and I tell my boss, and she's like, hey, what the hell? Get out of here. Like, go to the hospital now. I was like,
You're scaring the customer. What job was this at the time?
I was a biotech manager, so I worked for a biotech company. But yeah, I went to the hospital, and they do the nose cauterization. They take like a punk, those things that you light fireworks with.
Yeah,
it looks just like that, and they just stick it up your nose. And then I've only had like one or two.
Yeah,
How much
it's
did
just
that
a
hurt?
tampon without a string.
How much did that hurt?
Oh, it doesn't hurt at all. It's great.
Is it
It's
hot?
Nah, I mean, when your nose has been bleeding that much, anything feels good.
Oh yeah. After I took Accutane when I was in middle school, I started getting chronic nosebleeds.
Ooh.
And it also made it so I no longer tan at all. Haven't had a pimple in 3 years, but Accutane fucked with me. It made my cholesterol really high as like a 14-year-old. But there was one time I got a nosebleed from it, and usually a nosebleed is one nostril. This one was both, and I remember laying on my back, being like, "This is the solution. You can't bleed if you lay on your back."
Yeah.
My nose was bleeding so bad it was overflowing onto my face, and I was like, I need to go to the doctor or something. This is bad.
Outsmarted by blood.
Taylor, do you have your nose cauterized?
No, I've never had my nose cauterized. I've had a bunch of sinus surgeries. I don't breathe well. I was that kid who it was probably 8 before I was 7 the first time I broke my nose, and I was like, I couldn't breathe through my nose at all. And so as I was eating, my dad would always yell at me because he'd be like, Taylor, stop fucking opening your mouth when you're eating. And I couldn't. Like, I would wonder, like, how the fuck are people eating and breathing at the same time? Because I would be chewing and I'd be like, okay, keep chewing. I was like, man, how does everyone do this? But then they gave me a couple surgeries, and that doctor fucked it up, did not fix it. So I have the
same thing, actually. I broke my nose and it blocks one of the nostrils, and I just keeps growing, and I have to keep going to a plastic surgeon to like every 5 years because the cartilage just keeps blocking my nose.
I'm sure that's what I have. I'm scared of doctors, so I don't go very often.
I have a deviated septum, so the inside of my nose is crooked. Visually, I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty straight, like you wouldn't know. But if you look back at like pictures of the Woodworth family through the generations, you get to my great-great-grandparents, their noses like start in one corner of their face and finish in the other. And that effect has been diluted as we've overachieved with women throughout the years.
Dude, I used to have a hump in my nose. And the second time I broke it, like I went in there and I was only like 13, 14. And the doctor was like, hey, you want me to just fix the nose, or do you want me to shave anything out, make it even? And my mom was just like, you know what? While you're in there, shave it down, make it okay. And now my nose, if you were to feel it, has right angles. Angles on here. Yeah. You can feel the corners of where he shaved down my nose bone. And so got a fantastic nose. The inside's not too great, but that's okay.
Yeah, they reshaped mine when I broke it. The whole side of it was collapsed in. Like this side was collapsed all the way in.
Mine has a bump on it.
I didn't even know you broke it.
Somebody punched me.
Same.
I
said something I shouldn't have.
My friend said something he shouldn't have, and I got hit. But
mine was all my fault.
Oh no! They were like talking in your face. I put my arm across him to to sort of diffuse the situation, and they hit me.
When I broke my nose, I was playing ice hockey for at least 2 different teams. I was playing football. I was wrestling. And how did I break it? Basketball, when my own teammate brings down a rebound way too aggressively. That guy was retarded, and he caught me right in the nose. He's also the fucker that ruined this finger. I remember that. That was senior year of high school. We were on the same flag football team, and I go and I get the flag from this Indian kid who was slow as shit, easy grab. And then this other guy, Phil.
Gilbert Grape comes up to you.
I know you're out there. Then Phil comes over there. He grabs it from me, but he grabs my finger at the same time. And he broke it totally to the other side. And I remember being really scared. And I was like, I really don't want to go to the doctor. But in my head, I was like, you've watched movies. What you do is you pull it as hard as you can. and it'll reset it somehow. And I did that, and it was excruciating. And it turns out now I can't bend my finger right, so that was the wrong move.
The wisdom of 14-year-old Taylor.
Using the Rambo method out there in the fucking gym. Why are you afraid of doctors?
I thought it made sense.
Why are you heating up a big knife? I don't know. I saw it.
Gunpowder in the wound. Why are you afraid of doctors though? You have some trauma?
No, I just don't like going.
I love it.
No trauma, nothing at all. I really dislike going to the doctor because I guess my fear is like I'll go there for a broken finger and they'll be like, "Oh no, you got gut cancer, bitch. You're fuced." Like,
yes, avoiding the doctor will solve that. So that's good thinking.
In my head,
I've always enjoyed the
It's
doctor.
okay, Taylor. I don't go to the doctor.
Thank you, Juji. Yeah,
I hate them. They don't know
solidarity.
what they're talking about half the time.
No, they'll say you need to eat less. You need to do this and that. And I'm like,
Eggs have cholesterol.
this is propaganda. Oh, that amount of goldfish isn't appropriate every day? Okay. Fuck yourself.
You're the strongman. What's this? Bill Kazmaier from the 80s. There's a story about him. God, that guy's crazy. You should look him up sometime. He's fun. He's there was a goldfish eating contest, like actual fish, and it was for kids. It was for children. You know, like kid eat like
were there actual children eating live fish?
It was for to see if they could win.
This was the 90s.
He ate 300 goldfish or something. It's a true story. And
he ate 300 goldfish?
Yeah, he did it because he was hungry. He needed the protein.
Was he competing against children? You said it was for kids.
He was competing against other strongmen. So he
in the fish eating
to train.
Or in the kid? All the strongmen decided to beat the kids in the fish eating contest?
No, he needed the protein. So he went to a goldfish eating contest and just ate all the fish.
Okay, but he beat all the kids.
Yeah, he beat the kids.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
See, other strongmen weren't eating the fish
strongmen
as
are
well.
competing.
I picture him at like a folding picnic table surrounded by 7-year-olds who eat 2 fish, and he's at 300 in. I like it. It's a good video.
Oh yeah, we were at like some school fair, you know, those like field days they have in high school. And I was in high school, probably sophomore at the time, and my youngest brother, about 7 years younger than me, so he was maybe 7, 8, and they had a booth where you could buy goldfish. And he was hanging out with this other young girl, and he bought a goldfish and then was like, "I'm going to eat it." And it really upset her, and he ate it anyway. And then the rest of the day, all he did was go back, because we were all laughing. We're like, "That's fucking hilarious. Keep eating goldfish." And so I kept giving him money, and he would go back and buy goldfish, and then he would swallow them and eat them right in front of that girl. And it was cracking my shit up.
How many?
I think he had 3. I think he had 3.
Oh yes.
So,
Which brother is this?
This is my youngest brother. He's a lot of my family's here now, but 7 years younger than me. He's 22 now.
I like him more than you.
Yeah, well, you'd like both my brothers.
How many living creatures have you eaten?
Oh man, I didn't eat any goldfish that day. I'll tell you that. No.
I don't think I would. I honestly feel bad for the fucking fish.
Oh, it dies so fast.
Does it? How do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because the second it hits your stomach acid, like any ability for it to breathe is gone. So it asphyxiates probably painfully in your stomach very quickly.
Yeah, but what if there's 300 of them in there and you're like number 301?
Oh.
And it's like a final rave.
You're just flopping on top of the corpses of all your brethren.
Why is it
ayahuasca trip?
Why is asphyxiating so fast in your world? Like Taylor, if I were to say, Taylor drowned super fast when I held him underwater, it's like 4 minutes it takes you to die. Like it's
That's a long time. This is just something that someone told me at some point, and I'm repeating blindly. Is they were like, "Yeah, there's no oxygen. There's nothing in there. They're just slowly burning in stomach acid, but way before they burn in stomach acid, they're dying of lack of oxygen."
Now, I've seen those magicians. I was going to say musicians. Magicians do that trick where they swallow the goldfish and then they bring it back up. But I always notice when they do that, they drink a lot of water with the fish, like a pint of water before.
Those are 2 separate goldfish, right? Like
So
a
the
goldfish
fish can
dies every
swim?
time they do it.
So it's the Prestige, but for goldfish.
Yeah.
Everyone's the whole David Blaine act.
Spoiler alert. Anyone who hasn't seen the Prestige.
So Taylor, they're drinking a lot of water, eating a goldfish, and then just not bringing that goldfish back up. It's a second goldfish that they bring back up.
That's what I made up a minute ago. Yes.
You fucker.
Yeah, dude.
They're bringing that fish up. They're bringing him up.
David Blaine is regurgitating that goddamn fish in front of all those black people
I watched
in all those videos, bro.
That was an idea for a show I had a couple years ago called Black Magic, and it's street magicians who only perform for black people because they have way better reactions
They're
than everyone
so much
else.
better. Yeah, yeah.
That's an Aziz Ansari joke.
Oh, God damn it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Aziz. I just stole a joke from you. My bad.
Yeah, he's a long-time viewer.
long time. No, it's probably me that heard that and didn't even realize. But yeah, that I think that's a good ass idea.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Black Magic as a show name.
It's a good name.
That's
Yeah.
good.
He's like, black people straight up think that you've just done actual witchcraft.
Dudes, I think that sometimes. I was watching David Blaine and I'm like, well, this is just actual magic. That's how he's doing this. And who was the guy that put a nail through his palm?
Chris Angel.
Yeah, he did it like up close to like other Hollywood actors. And the guy's like, what? This isn't even a magic trick. You're just putting a nail through your palm, you psycho. And I think he might have been.
Free.
Have you ever seen David Blaine's TED Talk when he talks about when he held his breath for like 20 minutes or whatever?
I think I have seen that. Yeah.
It's so emotional because the thing about David Blaine, he does a lot of different kinds of magic, if you will. There's misdirection stuff and illusion stuff like any other magician does. You know, he's not a warlock. We get it. And then there are these things where he does like these physical feats where he's really doing it. He's just toughing it out. Like whenever he's like quote unquote frozen in a block of ice. Now, of course, he's not frozen in a block of ice. There are 2 blocks of ice around him. He's in an ice dome suspended up really high. He has gone like days without drinking and eating and stuff.
But that's not magic. That's like
I know it's not magic.
Jackass.
But when he held his breath, the thing was people were trying to like say that he hadn't really held his breath for that long. And he's like so emotional explaining that for like 2 years or something, he was doing these breathing exercises and like this entire fitness program to hold his breath extra long. And they were trying to say he had some sort of apparatus like
I'm with Taylor.
his throat.
I think it's a scam. I think, he's like, hey, I was going to do a trick where I held my breath longer than anyone. And it turns out that I just happen to be the breath holding champion of the history of the human race. Who'd have thunk it? Me. I'm the best. Oh, and by the way, I held my breath for 17 minutes. Really? That sounds like horseshit to me.
Yeah. And you know what? That whole trick, I remember watching.
He's under the water.
All he's doing is getting soggy. That's not magic at all.
I heard Penn and Teller talk about it, and he's like, the hardest thing about that trick, something I could never pull off, is looking good with your shirt off. The rest of it was all fake. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on that team. I'm on that team.
Yeah, that aligns with what I've decided to believe, so I agree with them.
I just like this magician happens to be able to hold his breath for 17 minutes just because he did a TED talk. Kyle, sometimes these magicians are fibbers.
Well, and it's not like the whole point of a magician is to do magic.
I mean, he's on camera underwater. There's no bubbles.
There's cameras on all his tricks. That's not unique to that one.
So he goes to
but they're illusions. They're like from angles. Clearly, he's not levitating.
I like when he does those, trying to, I guess misdirection tricks. And then after like 2 missed guesses, he tells the homeless black guy what card he has, and then that guy goes bananas.
Yes,
like, that's what you want. You want to see people freak out with a good reaction. I don't want to watch him hold his. What is more boring than watching someone hold their breath? Nothing. I'd rather watch a colonoscopy.
I mean, that was on Lifetime Channel or something. That was not like a network.
It was on Oprah.
Oh yes, they took a brief break from the Men Are Evil movie marathon. Men are evil and they will hurt you because this is Lifetime. I think that's a family.
I mean, the Guinness World Record people were there. They they monitored the whole thing. I think he did it. I think he just held his breath for 17 minutes.
I'm with Kyle here. I think David Blaine has got some wild breath thing going on.
All right, let's take a roundtable vote here. Who thinks David Blaine faked the breath holding?
I do. I think that was fake. 17
thinks David
minutes?
Blaine-
17
He has
minutes?
the Guinness World Record.
Who
Guinness
thinks he
says
held his
did
breath
it.
for
That's
17
Oh,
minutes?
fuck.
It's for
Guinness said it.
Wait, did you vote?
Yes, the people who
Show of
fucking
hands?
keep
I
track
think
of
it's
world
real.
records.
Show of
No,
hands?
they
Ordered
do
to.
shit like the biggest rubber band. They don't know what the fuck's
It's
going
not that
on.
hard to hold a fucking vote.
You think you're sending out the fucking A team
What,
for
do you have a
everything?
bigger rubber band in the back somewhere? If you don't, then your point is moot.
My point is not moot. I'm saying that how many fucking teams can there be that are going out to investigate records, right? You think they sent the A team that time? No, they got teams all over the place. Some guy in Belgium thinks he has the
You're not
loudest
arguing
bird.
good faith.
They're sending
The
the A
argument
team to
is
David
not
Blaine.
whether there is someone else out there who held their breath for 17 minutes and 5 seconds. The argument is whether he legitimately held his breath for 17 minutes and 4 seconds. And the people who keep world records say, yes, he did.
If someone put a gun to your head and said, do you think David Blaine held his breath for 17 minutes? Would you say yes? Because
Yes!
that's
Yes,
I would.
he did
I
it
would.
live on
Full-heartedly
television.
in that
Fucking
match.
Oprah Winfrey show.
That is
Have
so
you ever seen the
fucking
video?
retarded.
Have you seen the video?
retarded, dude.
Like, don't imagine that he's like, all right, I'm gonna go back here in the water. I'll be back in 20 minutes. He's in a water tank looking at you. Like
He's got one of those James Bond rebreathers or something.
Those don't exist. Those don't exist.
No, that's definitely a thing. That was in the movies.
No, that was a fucking inhaler that they just stuck in his mouth and blew bubbles at him.
How
That
long
shit
can
didn't work.
Michael Phelps hold his breath?
Not
5
17
minutes?
fucking minutes.
No,
You think-
he can't.
you
He's
think
not
he
in
likes
the
pizza
business
too
of
much.
holding his breath. That's not what he does. That's like how fast. That's like saying Usain Bolt is definitely
Taylor,
didn't run that fast.
I just
How
want to
fast
put
can
this
Michael-
out there.
It's the
Taylor,
it's not at all.
Taylor, I call this one for next conspiracy theory segment.
I've already soundly convinced everyone that Helen Keller was a retard, and I will be happy to convince everyone
I want
about David Blaine being bullshit.
You're second in the.
So
I
you
call
are
dibs already.
arguing that the legitimacy of the Guinness World Record system is completely flawed, right? You're saying
I'm
that
saying that an
none of the
organization-
Guinness World Records can be trusted.
Or
I'm
David Blaine's
saying-
in their
I'm-
pockets.
That might be true also. I'm saying that an organization that will send units out to watch someone pogo for 10 hours isn't the highest, most stringent organization in the land.
They are the only people in the world who keep world records.
Right. Who are the arbiters?
That's not even
Who
true.
are the
There's
arbiters? How many of them have books that are all reflective on the outside that I got
That's
for
true.
Christmas
The
that
books
time?
are really good looking. I do like the books. But then, like, they'll have someone who's like, yeah, that guy, that Indian guy's fingernails sure are gross.
Those are the longest fingernails in the world. You find me a long
you know what would be a good bit? What I would like Guinness more
I'm
is if
taking this
instead
one.
of the world's longest fingernails, they put it in as the world's grossest
Yeah,
fingernails.
now you're getting me on your side.
That's the guy. You saw that
Steve-O.
Jackass clip
Steve-O.
where he's. I don't know if Juji and Tom have seen all the Jackasses. I loved it, and they even the guy who makes Jackass was like, yeah, we didn't really know what to do with the guy with the long fingernails, and so we just had him stand on top of a table with all of them hanging down, and then just go, "It's a Miller time," and pour Miller on it, and then Steve-O is laying underneath it, drinking the Miller Light off of his fingernails, and he's vomiting.
Gagging.
All
Continuously.
the Indian girls in the background who they have for fucking aesthetics are like, just oh man, I love Jackass.
Creative. That's creative.
Steve-O's someone like that guy's life story is so incredible and how he's still alive. Like the amount
Yeah.
of shit he has done to his body, whether it's drugs or physical things, like it's I don't know how he's done it. And he's actually a really good storyteller. If you've watched his YouTube, he's like really fun to listen to.
Yeah, he's a very funny guy. And have you seen the? I think it was Johnny Knoxville who filmed him at different times for that documentary, where it was like all you could see in his apartment was like a million empty cans of Whippets and a bunch of other drugs, where he was like huffing nitrous oxide. It is really remarkable he got clean, but also part of me selfishly is like, I wish you were still as crazy as you were. You know, like it's good for him, absolutely. But for Jackass, you know, it was best when he was outrageous. Obviously, Jackass doesn't take precedence over his personal life, but
I think the interesting thing though is he leveled out the craziness. Like he still does the crazy things he used to do. He just hasn't done any new crazy shit. Like there's videos of him still putting a knife on his chin and eating bad things, but it's not like he hasn't taken that step up since that point.
yeah.
It's a hard point to go above.
Right
but
to actual suicide.
Yeah.
Actually, it seems like the whole Jackass thing died. Maybe it's partly their age as it was, or what was it, like 8 years ago when Ryan Dunn died? 9 years ago, maybe? That really put a damper on it.
The reason they're not doing it is because Johnny doesn't want to do it anymore. Johnny's the only holdup. Everybody else is on board.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
From Johnny and Steve-O. Like the whole thing is like Johnny's body is ruined. You know he has to piss using a catheter, right?
Yeah, he ruined his urinary tract.
He did this thing on it was like a dirt bike, like one of those like sport dirt bikes that they like do that Moto X shit with. And he went up this ramp that's sort of like straight up at the end. I think you're supposed to do a backflip. Maybe that was the trick he was going for, but he doesn't have any training in that. Like
he's good, but carry on.
Yeah.
So he just went up and the bike sort of left him and went up above him. And then he fell and crumpled to the ground. And then the bike fell and crumpled right into his crotch and just broke his fucking dick. And so lots of blood's coming out of his penis and the urethra is just ruined. So now every time he wants to urinate, he has to put a catheter into his penis to pee.
That's pretty rough.
No, that's badass.
I wonder if his dick
No.
functions in other ways. Like, can it get hard?
Does
With
he
a
come
catheter?
okay?
I'm not sure.
Is it like a hose with a hole in the side? Is that like the issue? Where it just kind of squirts out the
That's
top
what
and
it
the
is.
side.
He's just got to take the kink out before he fucks. Make sure your dick's straight. So before we jump into our next topic, we're gonna hear from a couple awesome sponsors. Honey. We all shop online a lot, and we've all seen that promo code field taunt us at checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free browser extension that finds promo codes for you and automatically applies them to your chart. To your cart. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. Please note a site where Honey recently saved you money, Amazon. When you check out, the Honey button drops down and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey scans its database of all the working coupons for that site and watch as the price drops. Honey has found over 17 million members, has saved over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online, including Walmart, DoorDash, and Lululemon. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free money. It's literally free and installs in a couple seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/PKA. That's joinhoney.com/PKA. Start saving yourself some money. There's no reason not to. Very, very easy, and it'll pay off immediately.
Check them out.
Another
cool
awesome
not to.
sponsor, in addition to Honey, Bluechew. You guys know we like hard dicks on this show. So let's talk about sex. Good sex, guys. Remember when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, Bluechew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Bluechew.com brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know it's the real deal, and it's the stuff that works. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, and since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Now, this isn't just for guys with dysfunction. It's for any guy who wants extra function and to enhance their performance in the bedroom. Bluechew is prescribed online and shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. So no in-person doctor visit, no waiting at the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the US of A. And since Bluechew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for listeners. Visit Bluechew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code PKA. Just pay $5 in shipping. The rest is free. Again, that is BLUEchew.com, promo code PKA to try it free. Bluechew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. So get yourself a hard-ass dick with Bluechew and save money with Honey. There you go.
There it is.
There you go. Do you guys have hard dicks?
No, I mean, speaking of, I was just thinking about turkey basters on the hard dick subject, but
Maybe that would help Steve-O.
yeah, it would, or Johnny, yeah. But I would say I would like you guys remarked at Juji's garlic eating phase, and one of the things I like the most about John is that he just gets like fixated on foods and does some weird shit with them. And one of the weirdest ones was the turkey smoothie, and I just like this story because it's just doesn't make
That's
much sense.
Fucking vile.
Yeah, it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst protein shakes I've ever made. Here's how it goes.
Ground turkey.
I used to work at a gym. We had a juice bar. We would make protein shakes for the members and stuff. So, I'd make my own sometimes. Big meal replacement shakes, chocolate, banana, peanut butter. The stuff that people like to drink. It tastes good. Well, it was after Thanksgiving. I had some turkey left over in a bag. I brought some turkey with me, and I was like, I can microwave turkey on the side and eat it along with a chocolate protein shake, which I'm going to have. This feels weird. I'll just go put the turkey in the shake. So I put the turkey in. Yeah, I put the turkey in this blender and I blend it up, and then I start drinking it. I'm like, I think I need to blend it up some more. So I put it back on the blender and I just keep hitting it. And then it tastes like hair. It's what it tastes like. There's hairs, like tiny hairs in the shake. Like you wanted to pick them out. It's like this, the muscle fibers are like sinewy or something, very fine hair-like textures in your mouth. And you're just like, oh crap!
What's wrong with egg whites? What's wrong with you?
Oh man, it was the turkey shake was gross.
That sounds awful. But did you hit your macros that day?
I don't remember.
Oh god.
Oh, speaking of that, we used to have all these protein. Do you know about the time I ate every protein bar we had at the gym? It was 4,000 calories of protein bars.
No, you just
it's easy to
told me about the expired protein.
Yeah, some more expired. So we used to sell all these different protein bars, and we had some new ones come in, and I hadn't tried them all. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to microwave this and eat it. Someone said it tastes good microwave. So I eat this new protein bar. I'm like, oh, there's another new one here. So I eat that. I was like, well, I really like this one. And then before I know, I was like, okay, I got to eat them all. So I ate every protein bar we had at the gym. And then it was easy to calculate the macros and calories because you look at the back of the packages. I'm like, oh, man, I just ate like 400 grams of protein and like 400 carbs and like 400 grams of fat. I don't know. It's just like, I felt really bad. I wouldn't recommend eating 4,000 calories worth of variety of protein bars. That was really gross.
No, you probably felt ill.
I did. I just had to finish it though. There's one more bar, It was like the oh yeah bar. I haven't had that new one, So I just had
the oh yeah bar.
If you're gonna start, you're gonna finish.
That's another protein bar. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, this one tastes like shitty chocolate also.
Yeah. But if you microwave it, it tastes like shitty chocolate that's microwaved.
Dude, the best tasting ones that I have are the Costco ones. The ones you can get cookie dough flavor at Costco. They're actually, I will not insult your intelligence to say it tastes like cookie dough. It does not. But it tastes close enough that it's okay. So that's a solid one. 180 calories, 21 grams of protein. Not a bad not a bad little bit. But
what'd you do before YouTube, Juji?
Well, Instagram, but before that I had websites, and before that I was, I worked at a biotech company, and before that I went to college, and before that I was in high school. I just keep going back in time. So I did a lot before YouTube.
Okay. What'd you do for the biotech company exactly? You said you were a manager. Like, what'd you do there in the course of a day?
So my job was really nice. I enjoyed it. The main thing was that I did about half an hour's worth of work over the entire day. And I was there.
You're just bored as shit.
It was great. So I got to eat all my meals. I'd go on a lunch hour for 2.5 hours and work out and come back. No one would say anything. I'd leave early. It was a really good job the last few years. The first few years, it was pretty tough because there's a lot to do, but they just kept firing people but me for some reason.
I had a job.
They were doing a great job those 30 minutes.
I went from 32 people to 7. I was one of the last ones. I was like, this is great. I love this job. I'm going to go work out again.
That's right. Maybe they were afraid of you.
Yeah.
They must have, dude. Because at the time, you weren't married yet, right?
No,
you weren't married yet. You're in a minimalist phase somewhat during the time, right?
Oh, that was when it was.
Dude, they might have thought
the job was
you'd be killing
busy
people or serial killer or something. Yeah.
The minimalism is bad, guys.
We gotta fire John. I'm not firing him. You fire him.
Okay, wait.
Taylor, of a house and he flips.
Eat a turkey into a smoothie.
Here's a good story. Here's a good one about that. So the guy that started firing everyone in my company and got down to the last 7 of us looked at me and he said, I don't know what I'm going to lose if I get rid of you, because you can do some things and other things and all these other things. Because I made videos for the company. I would go on expos. I just kind of like a Swiss Army knife. I was like, I'm just going to keep you then. So the only reason he didn't get rid of me is because he didn't know what he would lose if he got rid of me.
Yeah, I saw you doing backflips in the courtyard while curling, while throwing 50-pound kettlebells around. So I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna keep you on the team.
What's that 35-pound dumbbell? Oh, that's my doorstop.
Yeah, that's cool. And so it was. How old were you when you went YouTube full time? You said you're 34 now.
Like 4 years ago. Well, YouTube's just part of what we do. We do a lot of different things. Grip Company, I do the Instagram. That's a big part of my time.
He writes books and programs.
I write programs and books and stuff that sell really well on my website, jujimufu.com. So lion's share of my income comes from my product line.
That's awesome. That's a good way to diversify who you got going. Jujimufu.com, everyone. Check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
I need I'm gonna reach out to you and get a workout plan. But my only stipulation is I have to be able to eat whatever I want anytime I want.
Perfect. You're bound for success.
It's a bulking plan.
It's a bulking plan.
It's the bulking phase. You get all those potato chips you like so much.
The Cheez-It plan,
bars, your Cheez-Its.
The Cheez-Its, man. That's salty snacks are my undoing.
I always like better cheddar's better.
Better cheddar?
You don't know
better
that?
Cheddar? I don't know.
No,
is it a Southern thing?
It might be Alabamian.
Are better cheddar chips, or are they like?
Yeah, they're like a competitor of Cheez-Its. They're round.
Oh no!
Yeah,
they're round. Well, that's a bastardization of the art form. I will not be engaging in this bullshit.
I was waiting for Taylor to take that angle. I was going to throw out cheese nips were better if I had to.
No, cheese nips are oily. Cheese nips
the oil.
My ass. Fuck them.
Okay.
I knew you had strong feelings.
I did. And you know what? Ever since Cheez-It came out with the extra toasty flavor, it's like, God damn it, you've done it again, Cheez-It. Like you found another way to tantalize.
Have you checked have you eaten an extra toasty next to a regular one? Is it much toastier?
It's quite a bit toastier. Yeah.
Cool.
And it's the same like mentality of like Cheez-Its, like we accidentally made a lot of toasty Cheez-Its, buy them while they're here. And even like 30-year-old me is like, I better buy them before they fix that mistake at the factory.
The intern comes to the board meeting. Hey guys, like, what if we just make these extra toastier and then it will sell more?
Do you remember that with Lucky Charms? Where it was like, oops, all marshmallows.
I forgot.
It's no longer cereal.
God.
It's a cold hot chocolate.
Like
Oops, we made a bowl of candy.
Oh, speaking of that cereal, I just bought the protein cereal.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it is,
yeah.
It's pretty good.
You probably get ads for it on Instagram. The name of it is Tragic Spoon, I think. And
Magic Spoon. We advertised them here.
Well, it's the problem that happens. Like, I actually like the texture of it, but it just like coats the top of your teeth, like a protein would do if you were just eating protein. Yeah, I have some. You can try it later.
I mean,
it tastes like normal
Yeah, we
cereal.
could try it right now.
It actually tastes good, but it's just like the after effects are like the one problem, you know.
I did have the same experience. I'm like, this is actually good, especially the red one, whatever they call it. And then you're like, oh yeah, right. I see. It's got that good for you problem that all good for you
does,
foods have. Yeah,
exactly. It tastes good like 60% of the time, whether it's on the front end or the back end. But something's going to be different. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's yeah. We
look
both
like Cocoa
he doesn't
Puffs,
do that,
but but you're not a pure Cocoa Puff. It's a healthy thing in there. It's a compromise.
Yeah, compromise a little bit. We don't. Both of us are on a diet right now, so we're trying to find, things. He doesn't care about things to eat, but I try to fake things, like fake sugars and fake desserts, but they all just they're not the same. They just make me want to eat the real thing more, like more donuts and more.
Do you guys take an appetite suppressant or anything to help you in your diet or cutting phase? You just straight up willpower it.
Yeah, I smoke a lot of cigarettes.
You don't smoke a lot.
I smoke like 3 or 4.
See, a lot of cigarettes to me is like a pack plus.
Yeah, that's true. But if okay, so when I was losing my most weight, it was actually, I'd come back, I would go on a trip and I'd be like, Juji, I lost all this weight. It's because I was just doing a shit ton of Adderall and smoking cigarettes. So those are appetite suppressants, I would say.
I know people in their 40s that are still thin who smoke cigarettes. And it's like, well, you're on cheat codes, of course. Yeah, there's not the same.
But other than that, I mean, not really. I mean,
there's not really any good appetite suppressants out there unless they're like prescription for weight loss, maybe.
I was hoping you knew something. Adderall's good, I think.
Yeah.
Adderall.
Yeah, nothing like a little methamphetamine to.
Nothing like
Kyle, I feel like you're judging me. I'm looking for answers, not problems.
I got a prescription for it. I'm not judging. You want some? I can't help you because the feds are watching.
I know that. But the only appetite suppressant that really works for me is like it's something I see it different. Like I think you've been doing it really well is actually just being active and just walking around and doing more things. Like when I'm sitting down and just editing our videos or doing something on the computer, that's when I honestly want to snack the most and eat the most. But if we're out and about doing stuff, you just don't eat as much.
If you live a lifestyle where you are not doing much and next to your pantry, it is tough to be thin.
Yeah. But like John, you don't really snack. You just eat. Tell them about your diet because it's interesting to other people.
It's very unrelatable though. I'm kind of a robot when I eat. I don't really crave anything except for more of what I'm already eating. It's just a lot of beef, rice, spinach,
eggs.
I eat a lot of sprouts. I grow sprouts in my kitchen. Some carrots, tomatoes. It's just that on repeat over and over again.
Yeah, for every meal.
And for every I've eaten the same meal 5 times today, and I'm looking forward to eating it one more time. I mean, that's what I want. I just want to eat a lot of beef and rice. It makes me happy. Everyone's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, don't try trail mix. That shit'll hook you.
But that's the thing. He won't get hooked to it. That you'll have like pancakes and you like them, but you don't actively seek out pancakes.
It's weird, man. Like, I don't know. I'll eat them and I'm like, I understand there's pleasure going on right now in my brain. Like the tongue is sending something to my brain saying it's good, but I'm not like, oh my God, I miss this so much. Like, and I get like start craving it or something. It's just like, okay, I guess I'm done.
How do you work through injuries? Because you must get them, whether it be from arm wrestling or climbing or just overuse of something. Do you shut that down to 0 and skip a body part for a couple of weeks? Like, what do you do?
Well, I mean, immediately avoid aggravating it some more. So when I've broken a finger, the next day I'm in the gym squatting, just like front squatting, use the bars right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, my finger, haha, I don't need it. I still work out around it. And then you just try to use it as much as you can without aggravating it further, just to kind of bring it back up. Because it's all about blood flow. It's about sending a signal.
Finger's the worst one though. Like that, because you can get around that so much. Like if it's a shoulder or an elbow, half your body shut down.
Yeah. Oh, well, especially lower back. You hurt your lower back and you're stuck on a couch for 4 days, like frozen, like a back.
Calf freezes.
Yeah, it just freezes. But, you got to get up and just start moving around. And it's like, it's telling the body like, hey, we need to move. Like we need you. You're like telling the muscle, we need you right now. And it's just like, oh, okay, I serve a purpose. And you just keep going, and there's certain exercises you do, but it's just all about blood flow, just sending a signal to the injured part that it needs to. Hey, we're not done yet. We got shit to kill.
Well, our friend Antoine actually is a really good example. He just posted this picture. He's a bodybuilder, and he tore his bicep a year ago. And I will say that he was within 1 week of the surgery, right?
Yeah.
No, within like 2 days of the surgery, he was already working out the other side of his body. And he was just constantly trying to do things that involved the movement. And people kept telling him like, oh, you're going to mess up one side of your body, your left bicep, if you keep working your right bicep. But he believed that just like continuing to move on and continuing to do resistance training would bring it back faster. And it's pretty incredible how fast it came back. Like it was like down 7-8 inches, and it came back 8 inches in a year.
Yeah, it was cool. Antoine,
that actually helped him.
After he tore his bicep, he was actually weighing his arm on a scale somehow, and he was like, "Okay, this arm I lost 200 grams." And today I got back 50 grams, in the past 2 weeks. He's like talking about like the number of grams of weight.
That weight has to be 40% bullshit, right? Like, what if I tried to weigh just my left leg by standing on the right one?
I don't know. Yeah, no, it's like, how are you weighing that arm on your food
I think
scale?
you'd have to do
get a DEXA scan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you let me weigh all my body parts independently, I guarantee it would add up to 190. That is not what I weigh. I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of just lift the arm up a little bit and lift the leg up. Put extra numbers on the scale. I can't stop looking at these synthol accidents.
They're so gross. This one guy, like that crazy surgery that he's having to undergo, where they're talking about he might lose his fucking arms.
Yeah, both the Russian guy who clearly has never picked up a dumbbell but has like 30-inch arms and forearms teeny tiny. Doesn't look.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna do that, you should do like something comedic. Like you should do the Popeye thing where the forearms are enormous and everything else is completely out of proportion.
Yeah,
well, we got a friend that has that. That was naturally. If you look up a picture of him, Jeff Dabe, Dabe. He was born with some sort of gigantism in his arms, and
I know this guy.
Yeah. The sweetest Minnesotan in the world.
Yeah, that's not synthol, that's genetics.
That's just genetics. Yeah.
The first page of photos is you really struggling to arm wrestle with him. and like you can see there, like you're a jacked guy, and his hand absolutely like you're not even touching the full backside of his hand when you grab on there. Like he's got an absolute catcher's mitt of a hand.
Oh, it's nuts. Like you are enveloped by it like completely. Your hand is gone. But his looks a little similar to synthol in that he's kind of like swollen. His limbs are a bit swollen, but I'm wondering where the Russian guy got his inspiration from. Why he saw something syntholed up, and this is what he decided to go with a path on. It
has to be body dysmorphia. Right? Yeah. I bet he started. I bet at first he looked better. You just add 5% to your bicep, and you're like, you know what, I'm digging this. And then he does that again and again until you're like, well, like a normal person might say, I'm not sure you're still getting better, right? You might have been better 3 months ago. And then he just keeps going because in his head he's dysmorphic. It's messed up.
Yeah. Dude, imagine this guy taking giving 2 fingers to his wife. Jesus. Absolutely blasting that apart. Look at the size of these fingers. It's just outrageous. It's a good one. Look at this.
There's one where he holds a beer bottle in his hand. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's weird. He's holding it the way like Andre the Giant looked when he was holding it, but he's like almost a normal height guy, I assume. Like
yeah. He's about 5'8", 5'7".
He's a little shorter.
Really?
Yeah.
He's 5'8", 5'7".
Yeah. He's
he looks like he's from a different time too. Like
no,
this guy
you know
looks
what
like he should be part of like a NASCAR pit crew from the 80s.
He looks like he looks like a non-playable character blacksmith from Skyrim.
This guy worked for Richard Petty, I'm sure of it.
I'd buy iron ingots from him. trying to max out my smithing. Yeah, this guy. And then I remember seeing it may have even been in your video where you were like, hey, what do you do? And he's like, I don't do any workouts. I just drive a forklift. But the forklift, I guess it takes a little bit of torque. And it was like, no, dude, you didn't get like this from your forklift.
Right?
Do all your coworkers look like this?
An absolute genetic freak.
My friend's father had that same disease.
Really?
Yeah. I mentioned it before. It's one of the double lung transplant, cystic fibrosis. And his dad would like pound on his back to break up the mucus. And it was just like a gift that these two were matched together because his big mitts were just something else. Something like a smaller person might hurt more. It's almost like elbowing him in the back. But his dad with these big clobbers just banging him. It was kind of, when he shook your hand, it was emasculating. Yeah.
I love the way you phrased that.
It was just something like you didn't even like, because you're 17, 18, you're sort of growing into an adult's body, and then you shake his hand and it like like a different species or like a bear or something shook your hand. And he was really, really warm-hearted. So like when he saw me, he's just like, oh, Woody. He might hug me. He's Yugoslavian, right? Like a different culture. And he'd hug me warmly. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know, like a broomstick being hugged or something. Like it was a whole different thing. He's a really nice guy.
Dude, what is in the water in Eastern and Northern Europe to make these people?
They're all huge, and we know a lot of them. And on the handshake, I think over the last 4 or 5 years, my handshake has become more effeminate. But I believe that it's actually because I'm around more guys that are more masculine. So, like, I think in the general population, I was like, I got a decent masculine handshake here. But now I'm like, am I holding my little fingers to them? Am I gripping it fully?
Right.
I'm very self-conscious about my handshake. I effeminately shook your hand the other day. we shook hands for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And I felt it. I was like, damn, dude, my handshake.
I think you just
gotten worse.
Juji, what was your take on his handshake? Did he do okay, or
you had to have noticed?
Oh, I noticed. Yeah, but
you noticed?
No, I noticed, but it wasn't like, oh, that's a weird handshake. What I noticed was, does he know I'm trying to shake his hand? Like I thought maybe you didn't.
I was, man.
No,
does he know I'm trying to shake his hand?
I've been trying to practice it.
I thought I was like, no,
this is emotional. This is very emotional.
Let's try to shake hands. Come on.
No, I don't want to try now. Not on camera.
come on, give it a good shake.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah, see,
that was good. See, you grabbed my fingers. Maybe that was it.
No.
Okay, something happened. Something was off.
Oh, I tried.
That is the most sandbagging bullshit that I hate, where you're going in for a handshake and they force you to give a bad handshake because they grab your fingers before you're ready. And it's like, dude, you know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Go fuck yourself with this bullshit handshake ritual because they snip too fast.
Yeah,
because they're trying to be emasculating. No, thank you.
I also don't like it when we're at expos and people who don't understand, like arm wrestlers, like Devin. Mm-hmm. He knows how to shake a hand. It's a powerful handshake without just like a death squeeze. You know, there's guys who think that a good handshake is just squeezing your hand as hard as possible. When I feel that, I just like, you know, I go in for the handshake. I'm just like, oh, you're an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God,
no, you're 1,000,000% right.
I'm not a fucking gripper here. You don't like squeeze my hand as hard as possible to prove something.
It's a very autistic way to shake a hand.
When I was a kid, my barber. So I'm 14, and you guys just met me, but at 14 there were no signs of puberty yet, right? Like I'm 11 for all intents and purposes. And my barber would just straight up bully me. He'd squeeze my knuckles and he'd look me in the eye. And then he'd do this thing where he like rotated them and like, you know, like you could squeeze your knuckles and make sort of a cup. Right? You can make sort of a cup and you can survive that. But then he starts going them backwards and forwards and just like fucking with them. Why did I go back to this guy? He'd do it all the time. And I start to know it was coming. And like, I went to him forever, right? As I hit like 17 and 18, I actually got kind of fit. And it was like, this is the end of the you bullying me bullshit. You know, I got stronger than him. I was like, as an athlete later in high school. And
so the Mike Tyson thing, he's 75 now.
He was old too. He was.
Give me a hand, bitch.
He's got to be dead by now. He was pretty old when I was a teenager.
You're just squeezing his arthritic hands.
It was just
him crack and pop.
He'd try to do it to me, and I'd just be able to like straighten it out and shake it properly. And it's like, yeah, that stage of me is done with. You fucking. Why were you bullying me at 12 anyway? Like,
you're bullying this old man who should have retired long
That old man
ago.
got what he deserved, Kyle.
No one will believe you when you tell them I did this to you.
His hands are brittled from cutting hair.
This poor old man lost a bunch of sensitivity in his arm when he injured himself, and now he's giving weird handshakes, and you're sitting there seething like, you fucking bitch.
That wasn't it at all. He'd shake your hand, he'd work your knuckles, and he'd look you in the eye, because just like, you know, and it's like, I'm fucking not strong enough to do anything about it.
Why wouldn't you switch?
I can't explain that. I don't know. I should have switched. I should have fired him. That would be the move. I should have been like, you know what? That's it. You're not getting my money ever again. I'm going to someone who's not an asshole, and I'll see you. I'll never see you again. I just fired him. I fired my dentist once. I loved it.
Yeah. You should have started a fire in his place of work.
I was like stressed. I'm busy, and the dentist is late. And I used to, they'd be like, "What time should I make my appointment?" The dentist is always so late, and they're like, "Yeah, if you come here at 1, then we're always on time." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, right?" Because I guess if they run late, it gets sort of resolved.
They're never on time.
Lunchtime, and yeah, so I go in. They're late, and I don't know, like 25 minutes late. I'm like, did they forget about me? Like 25 minutes is pretty late. And eventually they pull me in the back and I see that they're 38 minutes late. And I was like, you know what?
Whoa.
No. And they're like, I'm like, that's it. You're fired. And I use those words. And they're like, I'm like, you're 38 minutes late for this appointment. If I was 38 minutes late, you wouldn't even take me. You're 30 minutes late, and I'm not accepting it. And then that was the end. I fired my dentist. Fuck him.
That's something I admire a lot about you, Woody, is that you will use the words "you're fired" to people in those industries. Which,
I know.
I should have fired my dentist at some point. Like when he was pricing me out for all the fucking fake teeth I have in my head now. Oh, it's going to be $10,000. Like I could have said, "You're fired. I'm going to somebody else." Lots of good people, lots of smart people talking about this other dentist out there. Lots of good people. Hydrochloroquine is what you need to fix your teeth. It's the one thing. And that would have, I need to get more aggressive with that. Firing dentists. My haircut guy's all right, but my dentist is a real asshole sometimes.
Mine's wonderful. I really like mine. I bit a fork a couple weeks ago, and they're like, Woody, if this hurts, I bit a fork because I'm retarded. And I'm like, it hurts. Like it hurts right now. And if I like push out on my lower teeth, like it's pain. And they're like, if this pain starts hurting, like, when you don't activate it, like, a bad chew or something, you hit that emergency button, we'll see you immediately. Like, we'll get you right in. We'll prioritize you. And I was like, I like my dentist. He's good. So.
Yeah. I have like not fired, but quasi removed a hygienist from my life at my dentist, because every other hygienist would come in for my cleanings and be like, "You're taking good care of your teeth." And I'm like, "I know." And then this bullish bitch would come in and she would use that scaling tool like my gums owed her money. And just dig. Oh, I notice your gums bleed a lot when prodded. When you notice your gums bleeding when you brush, what do you do? And I'm like, my gums don't bleed when I brush because I brush with soft brushes, not with steel poking into my gums. You fucking bitch.
You don't use miniature spears?
And to add to all the rest, she was fat.
Not having that.
I'd have fired her before I sat down, Taylor.
No, the limit is one fat person per observatory, and that's me. No, fuck that bitch. I hope you got fired. You sucked. Your name was Shannon. Fuck you, Shannon.
You know what? On the flip side, you like that I fired my dentist. I like that you got your moving costs lowered. So I guess the mover moved your stuff, and then when you weren't around, he had a whole new price, like trying to get your girlfriend to pay some higher price. And you're like, you know what you did. I know what you did. You know what you did. You tried to, change the price.
That motherfucker really tried to screw me. And he had the balls at the end of it to give me a card and go recommend me to your friends. I'm like, go fuck yourself. But then basically I was moving in. I'm 29. I bought my first house year and a half ago or so, and I had a bunch of people, a moving company, because I'm one of those people, like, I really hate inconveniencing my friends. Like, when I get a text that says I need help moving, I'm like, this shit sucks, dude. And so I don't want to put anyone else in that situation. And so they were moving a bunch of stuff, and they told me, like, to move the fucking 20 grand of furniture I had to buy to fill this house. They were like, it's gonna be $700. Okay, that's pretty reasonable for moving all that from the store and then moving it in and assembling all of it. That's going to be helpful in that work. And I get back one day and it was like $1,100 that they were trying to charge me. And I was talking to my girlfriend who lives with me, and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? And she's like, no, they just came up and they offered this. And so I just went to the guy and was like, or I called him rather because he didn't come back, obviously, after stuff was assembled. They put my fucking coffee tables upside down. I had to deassemble. So basically, they're glass coffee
Were the
tables with
legs
different
up?
levels. And they literally, in one case, yes. Yes, they weren't like the big tall wooden legs, but yeah, the glass legs on the table. And I called him and was like, "Dude, you said it was $700, and now it's $1,100. What the fuck is up?" And after a 20-minute conversation of like arguing, he was like, "You know what? It's not worth it. I'm going to drop off a $350 check in your mailbox." And I was like, "All right, perfect." And that's how it went. So I learned from Woody there. You just be a dick. Drive it home, and you can save a lot of money. I do that at Chipotle also when I pretend to be a veteran.
One of the things you said you did in that is you didn't use any bad words, and that's a good thing, right? Like, if you're like, "Hey, no, this isn't okay. We hadn't agreed on price," and just keep that conversation going, keep not being okay with it. Don't hang up. Don't give them any outs. Then you might get what you need.
Yeah.
The second you say, "You know what, this is bullshit," oh my God, they start clutching their pearls. They're gonna, how dare you? How dare you?
I
use
will
that
not
word?
be on this phone call with a deviant.
Suddenly don't call him a cunt.
Yeah, suddenly the
okay.
whole conversation will be about that one bad word you used, and now that's what they want to talk about. Now they're that, and it's like, no, you can't fall in that trap. As tempting as it is.
And then they get mad at you. They're like, "Sir, I'm white. I don't know why you keep using that word."
That's funny. But yeah, there's one thing I do wrong too often is I give them an out, like maybe make a joke that they can laugh at, and then we move past it
And then parlay it. Yeah,
but you don't get what you want if you do that. So hold them to the fire. Don't use bad words.
Yep. I think it was a Bill Burr joke, either from O&A or one of his stand-up, where it's like, the word to use is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. What you're putting me through is unacceptable. I would love to take a survey after the call. I would love to. I would love to speak to him. He gave the advice of always try and speak to a manager, try and take the survey. Even if you don't end up taking it, always, I do this now. Every time it says, "Would you like to take a survey?" at the end of the call, I always hit yes, even when I never take them, because my assumption is there might be some kind of trigger that tells them this is someone who's going to take a survey and I might get better service. Maybe not, probably
Those
not,
surveys matter. At least in the car industry, it mattered a lot. We did everything we could to bribe people to give us 95% of the surveys.
Yeah.
We need all 10s. We really did. 95% was dog shit. 99% dog shit. Only 100% mattered. Anything less, and this is how I would explain to a customer. I would have this printout of a survey that had been completed, and it was laminated. I was like, anything less than this is failure. Anything less than perfection is failure. I know you might feel very satisfied, but if you are not completely satisfied, I have failed. Now, maybe you are just very satisfied, not completely satisfied with how today goes. Well, don't worry. I will bribe you with an oil change as soon as you get that survey done. Just come back. It's free. And you know what? I'm not paying for it. They'll throw a car wash in too. Whatever it takes.
Yours was all anonymous, I'm sure.
No. The customer that I sell the car to is going to fill out a survey about me and his car buying experience for me.
I shouldn't have said anonymous, but it was a sheet that went to you and your boss saw it and that was it, right?
No. It was a sheet that they filled out. They got mailed to them after they bought the car, and then they had to mail it back off again. And then it reflected on me, my manager, and the dealership.
So they were all incentivized to be in on this scam.
It goes to Ford Motor Company.
When I got my car, I bought a Honda a year ago, a little over a year ago, and this guy hounded me for so long to take his survey. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, I'll give you all 10s, dude. It was fine." But I log on to his survey, and it's like I have to have a Facebook account. I have to post it publicly like on social media.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not giving you a rating. I'm not going to post my real name and address on this so that people can pop by and see my Honda that you sold me, you bitch.
Yeah, it was nothing like that.
This happened to me. It was at the dentist I like so much. But they're like, hey, do you have a smartphone? And I was like, yes, because we had been talking for the last 30 minutes.
You're like, what year is
Now
it?
the hygienist and I were like friendly. I genuinely like my hygienist. I enjoyed her company. She was a very good communicator, right? Her stories, and whenever she needed me to do something, turn my head or whatever. Right. Great communicator. So
Your hygienist was not Shannon. That's what you're saying.
No,
Shannon is an absolute cunt, and I hope you're listening.
And she was thin. But anyway, so she's like, do you have a smartphone? I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't know. It just came up. And she's like, do you like Starbucks? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I like Starbucks. Falling into her trap. And she's like, well, if you rate us highly on Google ratings or something, you get a free Starbucks card. And it's like, now I've already told you I like Starbucks.
Well, I don't like it that much.
And I've already told you I have a smartphone, and she wants me to do it right now while sitting in this chair while she's looking. Like socially, I felt pressured.
Did you do it?
Yeah,
Yikes!
I did it because I liked her. I did it because I wanted to do something nice. She wanted me to do it. That's why I did.
Not because you liked frappuccinos.
No, I'm not gonna go to. I never go to Starbucks.
No, he
But
just
it's free.
loves those frappe lattes.
It's not free unless they come to me. Otherwise, it costs my time.
Oh,
The cafe latte.
Hey guys, I got to head out. I got a heart out here.
sounds good.
Understandable. Thank you so much for coming, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Big fan of
having
your
me.
channel. Pimp everything you got.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been silly as hell.
Yeah.
But
you got Jujimufu.com. That's the main thing. Go to Jujimufu.com
I spell the
to
word-
get big as Jujimufu.
and buy smelling salts, which burn your nose.
Yes, I need
That's
to
up-
buy some smelling salts from
I
you.
will send you some.
We'll send you.
We'll send
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Give me
hell
your
yeah.
Discord me
Cheers.
your address.
But thank you
I
guys so
will.
much. And Tom, you should tell him.
I'm gonna get out of here too.
Oh, okay.
I'm tired as hell. Yeah, is that okay, guys?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Of course,
Oh,
of course.
okay, cool.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Thanks,
for coming
boys.
on. We enjoyed you.
Check out Jujimufu on YouTube and his site. And I really enjoy your content. Thank you, guys.
Sweet.
All right. So you right
Now
click
you
on
have to
your own
awkwardly
picture.
walk over to your laptop and hit. hit end.
I'll show off my legs
He's
again.
gonna stand in the chair.
All right.
Jeez.
Hell yeah. That's great. Man,
Voice.
I want a nice little podcast set up with two different colored chairs with hang down mics.
Well, for the cost of $79.99, I'm sure you can accomplish that look.
I guess so. Yeah, that was really nice. I'm glad to have them on. I really enjoyed their fitness channel.
Yeah.
They keep it fun.
I've been liking their stuff for a while now.
Mm-hmm. So what's been new for you guys this week?
I've just been watching this explosion over and over on loop. Pretty much, it's it's been the highlight of my week. You want to
You've
see
been
the
so
satellite
excited about
images?
Sure.
It's outrageous. It's
Yeah,
outrageous.
Link it.
It's a fucking crater. It's a fucking crater.
That's what I'm saying.
Look, you won't believe this statistic. I was told by someone who's got family there that it has crippled it's Lebanon, right? Beirut,
Yeah,
it's
it's
the capital.
Lebanon.
It has crippled their economy by 70%. Their GDP is down 70% because of this. This is their main port, and they were already in like dire straits to the point where they weren't using their own currency. They had switched to dollars, and then this happened.
Dude, but look at this. How do you have enough explosive somewhere to do this and just nothing is done about it? That's outrageous. Look at that. It created a whole new bay.
So
Yeah.
I started to lay it out at the beginning, but they had a ship, had some sort of technical problem. I interpret that to be a technical problem with the ship, like it needed repairs. So they docked it there, and then eventually the whole crew got like sent home. Like there was some sort of problem. They wouldn't let the ship sail again, and they let all the crew go, and they took the explosives, the ammonium nitrate, off the ship and put it in a warehouse. And I guess no one just felt like the problem was urgent enough to get it moved, or it's supposed to go to Mozambique. They never sent it the rest of the way. It just
I saw
got
something that said there was
stuck there.
27 tons of it. 27 and a half tons. From
That's
this
with two
report
ends,
I'm seeing.
though. So that's like 2,200 pounds.
Oh.
Remember from Archer, when they had the argument about tons
Yeah.
versus tons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
it
so it
was-
was about 2,200 pounds of total explosive that was hanging out there. is
This
what-
Well,
says-
2,200 per ton times however many tons.
I'm very
Oh, yeah,
confused.
well,
This
there's
says
thousands.
2,750 tons, and there's one N, and I can't tell what's a joke and what's not. But it appears
no,
to be.
like tons with two ends is like a different unit of measurement over in.
So this
isn't
is
it-
one N, at least in this thing Kyle just linked. So that's
This is Kansas City. So I'll maybe they converted it for us. The good people of Kansas City.
Okay, a metric ton is 2,204 pounds. But how much is a regular ton?
2,000 pounds.
1,000, I guess?
yeah. So they're both about.
Oh, well, it's the same fucking shit. Who cares?
It's not, well, I mean, when you've got thousands of tons, it adds up, right?
So if anything, it's larger than what I was initiating, right? Because
Essentially.
it's a metric ton, because that's 16 extra pounds. I think it
Yeah,
was.
so
per-
2,200 metric tons might be 2,700 American tons.
There was a lot of it.
yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
a lot of
That-
tons.
That doesn't make sense. Who has 27 and a half tons of something that is capable of blowing a new bay
So
into your port?
it's
And
a-
who?
It's a
What are you doing?
fertilizer. That's probably what they had intentions of doing with it. They were fertilizing land.
I think that this would have probably been used for it because it's prilled. Like that's a way of processing it. I think this
Probably
was to
what?
be used for explosives.
Well, it was headed to Mozambique. They do blow shit up there.
Man, it'll
I don't
come out
know.
10 months from now that the U.S. or someone else did this.
I keep
to
reading
get
that it's used in fertilizers, so I inferred that this would be used in fertilizers. I don't know even what prilled means.
Prilled means that it's made into like tiny little capsules, like tiny little pill-looking shapes, and that
Okay.
keeps it separate from being so abrasive. Because if you keep it in a big lump, apparently it's more likely to catch fire or cause problems. So they prill it into these tiny little pellets, and that's what I believe that means. I could be wrong. I think that's right though.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyle says it was destined to be an explosive. All I keep hearing is that it's used in fertilizers, so I inferred that it was
Yeah.
used in. It was going to be. I don't know, but I do know it was a big blast, and like Kyle said, like it's changed the shape of this dock. There's
Yeah.
a crater in it, like,
There's a new bay right in the middle of the dock, right there.
and
It's like that's the only thing that seems curious to me is like, how the fuck do you have that much explosive shit in a warehouse right there on your most important port, which is apparently responsible for 70% of your income as a nation, and you just let it sit there? It just doesn't make sense, dude.
It's pretty crazy. That pressure wave, that condensing the water, the humidity in the air, is something that you normally only see in like really, really big explosions, which is what this was. Like
military.
I saw this guy filming from his car as he drove past, and he's far, like he's a good half a mile, it seems like, away.
Mhm.
And when it blows up, the car is destroyed. Like the windshield is blown out, the side windows are blown out. He crashes the fucking car. I saw
that.
people filming out of their apartments, and all the windows come flying in.
Yeah.
Did you see the wedding one?
Yeah, the wedding one, she was hot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can
So
you-
there's this
can you
beautiful
link that?
woman in a wedding
Just-
dress. I don't think I can show it to everyone. I'm just sure it's going to be one of
okay.
those like copyrighted viral things. But she's in a wedding dress, and the photographer is slowly. I should say videographer. The videographer is slowly panning, and you can see what she's doing. And what caught my attention was not the sudden tornado style wind that hit her, but the duration of it. I expected a shock wave to be just a snap of wind. It blew for 5 seconds, maybe. Like
Yeah.
it kept blowing.
Yeah, because the air is just being, like there's a huge layer of air that's being pushed forward. Like the shockwave itself is a whole different thing, but it's kind of instantaneous. But it's pushing all of that air in front of it at various densities.
I have felt less than Kyle, I'm sure, but like 1 or 2 pounds of tannerite. I think I felt 5 once, and it's like I felt it in my chest, and I think I felt my hair like react to it, you know? And
Yeah.
and I've got a bit of a hair helmet, right? It doesn't move when I shake around, but it was like I felt it get beaten, like someone touched it almost. And this was a different thing. That times a million. The wedding dress was like flowing behind her. It was like
Literally times like 4 or 5 million. It's
wow. Yeah, something different.
yeah, like that whole area there is just a it looks like something from a Terminator movie. Like when they're showing the post-apocalyptic area with like all the cars destroyed and the buildings destroyed and everything's ripped apart.
The dust always gets me too. Like a place can look like a ruin because it's coated with 3 inches of dust. I don't know. I have a hope that some of these areas you just hit them with a leaf blower and they're okay.
You need a big fucking leaf blower to fix that shit. Look at that. Look at this image is from space, Woody.
Okay. Some of this is not going to be fixed by a leaf blower. I'm looking at picture 11 out of 12 right here.
Yeah.
It's all mangled. 12 out of 12. Not looking leaf blower repair. But if you get a little farther away, it does seem like it's hard to tell what's destroyed and what's just covered in dirt. Like 9/11 had a similar thing, actually. It was like the amount of dust that just flowed over New York. It wasn't all damage. It was just dirty.
Yeah, but the problem was that dust that they were spreading was full of asbestos and other carcinogens, so it just spread cancer throughout New York. God knows what the health regulations are in fucking Lebanon. Like, clearly, they got no problem with storing enough boom boom in a warehouse to put a fucking crater in a peninsula. Like, so,
What the fuck was happening with that? Who
Apparently-
keeps enough explosive in one building where everyone knows, hey, yeah, this could like totally ruin the country's commerce. But we're gonna
I
keep.
still don't know
like,
how it
tight
went off.
right here.
I don't
It doesn't
understand
make
that.
sense.
It's
Like-
probably hard to figure it out. Like it obviously it's the most damaged part of the inspection of the area. Like I don't think you could just send a fireman in there. Like figure out how this what triggered this.
Well, in there is in a crater now that's in the water.
It's like, what? I'm a fireman, not a scuba diver. You know, like what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, in there is now all underwater. So
Yeah, I have no idea like how this went off. It doesn't make sense to me. I have a cursory knowledge of the stuff, but like ammonium nitrate by itself is not explosive. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
It's got to be mixed with things, you know. In tannerite, you mix it with aluminum powder, and like with some of the other versions of like ammonium nitrate explosives, they were mixed with various other chemicals to make them burn hotter and faster. And you know, with Oklahoma City, they used fuel oil. They mixed that with like I don't remember how much there was in Oklahoma City that blew up the building, but it was like a few hundred pounds, like maybe 1,000 pounds.
Would
this
fireworks
is
set
too
it off?
fucking. This is too fucking weird for it to be a total coincidence. I don't know.
What's the coincidence, though?
I'm just saying the coincidence being that the biggest port of an entire nation got destroyed and destroyed 70% of their GDP. Apparently, I'm just saying this is.
Did you see the fireworks,
There's something
Kyle?
about this that doesn't check out. I don't know.
Yeah,
What it
it like originally I heard it was a firework factory that blew up, and what made sense to me was that eventually the fire.
a firework factory in the middle of a peninsula on their biggest trading port. Yeah, okay, that's where they put their fireworks
I
factory.
didn't have any of that information though. All
Let
I
him
had was
finish
a
his-
video of an explosion in
Yeah.
the distance. And so my thought process was like maybe the fire got to one of the really large holding containers that's full of the ingredients that go in fireworks, some potassium permanganate or something. But I did see what you're talking about, where there's like lots of smaller explosions going off.
Sparkles going, and
I think there were fireworks stored in that same fucking warehouse along with ammonium nitrate because they didn't look like they look like sparklers and bottle
I don't know if I was
rockets.
watching CNN or Fox or whatever, but they had some expert on, and the guy's like, "Yeah, he's looking at it, and he seemed to be a genuine expert. He's like, this is consistent with fireworks. You can see the bang, 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 the little sparks explosion, and then the whopper hits." And
Well, I don't disagree that like it probably was exactly what they're saying. The explosion. It's just, dude, look at the size of that explosion. Look at the devastation. Why would a country whose entire revenue source is this port put a fireworks factory? Right. That's just weird. That's
Well, there's
fucking weird.
it had been there for months, and there's photos
For
of the
years?
bags.
like,
I mean, maybe years. I don't know. It had been there for a very long time. There's photos of those big bags of ammonium nitrate, like from long ago. It's not like
I believe you. I'm just saying this is curious. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't pass the logic test of why they would do that. Why would they put that there?
Well, I feel like that question implies intent, whereas like sometimes people fuck up. Like 2 or 3 years ago, a ship needed repairs. They never deemed the ship seaworthy again. They took the explosives off the ship because they found that to be some sort of risk and put it in a warehouse. And then it just got ignored for years until something fucked up.
And that's entirely possible. Totally possible. It's really just looking at the devastation of these two photos. And I'm like, holy shit. How could you have a bomb or a potential bomb that size right there on your most important port?
I have a good video.
Doesn't make sense.
Let's try group watching this and see how it goes.
I'm at 0.
It's 2 minutes long, but we only need to get like
No, I'm at 0. I'm good.
30 seconds in. All right, ready, set, play. All right. So now we're at the warning. There's nothing good here. Do you see the sparkles, the smaller?
Oh yeah.
There's a fire in this place, and things are booming. I'm not seeing any fire there, and then there, it triggered it.
That's such a big explosion.
Oh, you're not making it on praise the camera, man. Nice job, pussy.
Good Lord, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that guy would not have made it. Oh boy.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, that was a whopper. So I stopped watching, but
You shouldn't have. Oh,
I'm afraid I'm gonna get claimed.
Water.
Yeah, the water.
Okay,
one's
all right,
cool.
my bad.
What's the what's the conspiracy?
That the Jews did it.
What do
that
people
Israel
think?
did it.
Oh,
That Israel did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the conspiracy.
name 5 other times Israel has staged false flag operations in the Middle East.
Well, this would be a false flag, but you know it seems like right up their alley to do this sort of thing.
So they think
of
Israel trying to
Lebanon.
destabilize Lebanon?
Is Lebanon even like the one? Like surely Iran is active, maybe Iraq, I'm not sure. Syria's hot right now. Lebanon is like a tourist area or something. Am I off
I
target?
mean, they were at war for a long time.
It's definitely not a tourist area. Lebanon is one of the nations that Israel definitely has beef with. But
Okay.
It's illegal for Lebanese to travel to Israel. They had a war. Like they do not like each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I could be
Lebanon
wrong,
and Israel
man.
do not get along.
I think of
Israel invaded Lebanon in 2006.
No, but
Okay.
it was because Lebanon was so evil, right? That's what the news said.
No, all right, I'm wrong.
It's because 2 Israeli soldiers were abducted and taken by Hezbollah to Lebanon, and
What am
5
I-
more were killed there.
Okay, one of my Indian coworkers. I'm at Cisco and this happened. He went to Beirut. That's the city in Lebanon, right?
That's in
That's
Lebanon.
this place. Yeah.
Yep.
He went to Beirut for a vacation, and I was like, "You're vacationing in Beirut?" I don't really think of that as a vacation spot. I think of it as more of a target. He found that to be very, very offensive, and I'm like, "Dude, like,
Why
right?"
do you not like me vacationing in Lebanon?
And he's like, no, you're really out of date. They're not enemies of anyone. They're cool. It's a beautiful city, etc. And I was
Exactly.
like, all
That guy's
right.
a fucking idiot.
Well, maybe if you're
They've
from
been
India.
enemies of Israel for a very long time.
Okay.
My dog was alive the last time we went to war. I don't know, man. It's pretty recent shit.
If you're an enemy of Israel, the entire U.S. military is going to be on your ass.
This might have been 2006. Like I was working at Cisco at the time, and yeah. So anyway, I was like, well, I guess I need to update my view on Lebanon. It's a different thing now.
Maybe not. Yeah. I think it was an accident, but just based on the fact that shit had been there for so long.
Mhm.
Although, like, god damn, if that would be one of the craziest terror attacks ever. Like that. I'm glad that not so many people died. I keep hearing 100, which, like, you look at that explosion and you
The
think
size of that explosion, that's not bad.
you look at that
Thousands
explosion and you
injured.
think 50,000 or something like that. You think, like, okay, like, so everyone's dead, right?
Dude, it looks like Nagasaki.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's bigger than a small nuclear weapon.
Is
Really?
it?
Yeah,
So
like a
it's
suitcase
bigger
bomb or
than what we
something.
dropped on Hiroshima.
Oh, I
and
didn't say
Nagasaki?
that. No.
Oh, I thought those were like the small nuclear weapons that we
Well, I
had.
mean, you can make a suitcase nuke these days.
I don't know.
Like
how-
0.2 kilotons or something. bigger than that.
That's pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, man, life's really gonna pop off in the next couple of decades, isn't it?
God, I hope so.
It's
God, I hope so. Oh, we're heading for that Terminator Salvation future.
It feels like it's popping off now. Popping like, hey, NRA. Can I change the topic to NRA stuff?
Yeah.
So the New York
know.
Attorney General is trying to dismantle the NRA, and I am
the New York one, right?
Yes, yeah, the New York Attorney General. I think I said it right. So I guess the NRA is a corrupt organization stealing money from their people. These guys, I know, right? But no, they're like
a political organization misattributing funds.
They are. So they spent $500,000 on trips to the Bahamas. How do you fucking make it rain for $500,000 going to the Bahamas? I feel like I would struggle to spend more than $30,000 going to the Bahamas, but it starts and ends with a private jet, I suspect. The guy lived in a $6 million home, something like $64 million worth of waste that they just like blew on themselves. People think that the NRA's money is where their power comes from. It's not. In terms of donations, NRA isn't shit. Like the pharma, telecom, they donate actual money. They talk with their money. NRA is a powerful voting block. It's not about the cash and the campaign ads. It's about the voting block. So what NRA does is they just take your money, fucking blow it on, I don't know, hookers and blow or something, and then tell people how to vote. And there are different reactions to the Attorney General dismantling the NRA. I'm a pro-gun guy. I kind of hope that something better takes its place.
Gun Owners of America is the better organization. The people in my circle have always felt that the NRA isn't extreme enough for us in their beliefs. They don't protect enough of the scarier things, and the Gun Owners of America do.
Well, good for Gun Owners of America. If you want someone to protect your rights, you want them out there on some weird ass fringe, defending some weird ass fringe thing. So when
it's
they
a
go,
belt-fed deer rifle. What's the problem?
But that's what you want. You genuinely do want them defending some fringe thing, like
I could make both arguments.
Rifle.
Mr. Johnson had a problem with gophers, so yes, he employed sarin nerve agent. The gophers are gone. What's the problem?
Dude, I could use some sarin nerve agent if it actually gets rid of gophers the way you say.
What you need is a dachshund.
A dog.
I don't want
a dachshund?
Buy a dachshund. Just ruin my yard as he fails to dig up gophers.
That's their job. Dachshund is German for badger hound.
Is it actually German for badger hound?
Yeah.
Oh, is that something I didn't know? That's pretty cool.
They go into the badger's barrel and root him out like
they root them out like some other undesirables
creatures which hide in.
Did you say like the zoo? Because I might have misheard it.
No, he said like the Jews.
Yes.
I was like the zoo. Okay, I guess they do it in zoos. Yeah, silly me.
Yeah, we get rid of the gophers, similar to we do the Jew.
Have you seen JoJo? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know if you want the extreme one like Taylor said. Like I could argue the other side and say that you discredit yourself if you suggest like belt-fed deer rifles and stuff. Like that might be a hard sell.
Oh, fuck discrediting yourself. They're taking your money and lobbying with those dollars, right? Like forget discrediting. The people who are anti-gun don't like any guns. Like a lot of them. A lot of them want to take all the guns. The thing is they're so uneducated that they might right now be okay with that Elmer Fudd shotgun, but if they knew what it was, they wouldn't be. If they knew what it really was, they wouldn't be. They might be okay with your 22 rifle, but if they knew what it could be, they wouldn't like it at all. Like there are no guns that those people are ever going to be like, oh yeah, that one's fine. Well, if I put this thing on it, it's fully automatic. Oh, we don't like that. Well, it's not under the law and you can't change it. Well, then they all need to go. So I think you need to be out there on the fringe of the thing, fighting for like the very border of the fight. Don't give up any land. Just like a real land war. Don't say, all right, they can have the Reichland over there. We'll just hang on to
Kyle, you're talking about political strategy, and that's 1,000,000% right. You don't fight for the position you want. You fight for a position further to whatever direction you want so that you can mitigate and get back to where you want. Like that
it's fine with me. To be honest, even if they
like
got
arguing with a woman.
Even if they got it, even if they had belt-fed
argue.
rifles and made them legal, I like belt-fed.
They are illegal, by the way. You want a belt-fed AR-15? We can make that happen.
Made
I
them,
think it's called a striker or something.
let's
I
say,
can find it real
more
quick.
accessible. You know, if they made belt-fed stuff more accessible.
Oh, I can get it right off the internet if you want it. And no paperwork.
Well, give me something that's
A machine gun, or machine guns and suppressors are the edge.
I want
that's there right now.
suppressors for real. You know, I'm told in England, unsuppressed gun is just impolite.
Just rude.
Yeah, so let's get to there. In any case,
Oh,
this
that's-
NRA thing.
The chest berries are firing the weapons loud.
Are these Americans using guns recreationally?
I'm fine with the NRA going away. I don't think that it will erode the rights of gun owners. I think they'll go straight to the next one. Maybe the one America. What would you say? What was
The Gun Owners of America.
Gun Owners of America. I mixed them up. I think maybe they'll go straight to Gun Owners of America, or if not them, then someone new might pop up. That the gun owners are not going to be like, NRA's gone. I guess I'll just stop caring about gun rights.
You really think a new one will pop up?
Yeah, I think you think that too.
No, I don't either. I don't believe a new one will pop up. Like the amount of concentrated effort by certain groups to make sure that a new group can't pop up is exactly why they're trying to get rid of the NRA.
Oh,
Because
no,
they're going to ensure that this new group can't advertise on any platform they want. They can't promulgate their message. Like that's what will actually happen.
The Gun
They'll
Owners
get rid of the NRA, and then they will tag the Gun Owners of America as a hate group or something like that, and they'll make sure they can't get their message out there through advertising on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Like that's exactly what will happen.
So the tagline for the Gun
It
Owners
will.
of America, they refer to themselves as the only no compromise gun lobby.
Yeah, people
No
switch to them.
compromise.
And there'll be a new NRA, I think, in a heartbeat.
I
You can't know because you're not from the future, Taylor.
$5 bet,
Yes.
bet. But I know
How do
about
we
how
even
marketing
define
works.
They're already established.
I-
It's a very big organization.
They are a very big organization, but I'm saying I know how marketing works, and how advertising works, and I know how many of these channels have absolutely restricted any ability for gun related channels to advertise themselves. Like if the NRA gets shut down, that's the end of it. That there will be a fringe movement of people going to the Gun Owners of America, but those are people who already agreed in the first place. Like they're not. There's no one showing up to the Gun Owners of America going, you know what? They make good points. No one is doing that, and so that they get rid of the NRA. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. And the NRA does a lot of retarded shit that I don't like, but it's
Not to me.
So the NRA has 5.5 million members, and the Gun Owners of America have 2 million.
how many of those 5.5 million do you think are savvy enough with the internet to find an alternative?
Oh, I think they'll get thrust into the limelight soon.
That won't be a problem. If they're already doing that, then I mean, it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm telling you, millions of people are not going to suddenly shift from one organization to another.
You tell me lots of things. Helen Keller was a genius.
Yeah,
Helen Keller
that
was
has
a
been so
retard.
disproved. I've had long conversations with our patrons, in the Discord. We're all team secret
One
genius
by
now.
one. We
One by
turned them
one.
back.
Turning them back to my side.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to let my argument speak for itself. Everyone go back.
Oh, it has spoken for itself, and so has Helen Keller. God damn it! All right, secret genius.
I'm not retarded. Oh, I just get signed into my hand. Yeah, she's a fucking retard.
She
You're
didn't
wrong.
just sign into her hand. I could hear her words.
She could speak. People,
She's
watch
so-
the video and judge for yourselves. Don't be led astray by this monstrosity.
I fuck you, dude. I will not allow my life's work to be undone.
I won't bandy crooked words with you.
If I have my way, we will come back. We will revote on best conspiracy theory, and mine, that doctors just like butt stuff, will take the lead in the end.
Nope. No, Helen Keller's too high T of a conspiracy theory. Everyone out there, don't you let these motherfuckers bring out there. Oh, I've got a fact here. I've got evidence. Look at me. Look at me. I've got evidence. Go fuck yourself. She was a retard, and I hate her. I don't actually hate her because she was a retard. You should.
I am
George
bringing
Bush
the noise
Republican
next
right
conspiracy theory because I won the first one. Everyone said it with my the plane was
Did you?
actually shot down.
It was because of your PowerPoint, because your PowerPoint was hilarious. The way that you phrased it was good, where you'd be like, and then Tower 7 fell on its own. Next slide. And I was like, damn, like I'm ready for more evidence.
It's like Kevin Costner in JFK. Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
I tried that again this time with like, people get just as much cancer whether you detect it or not. Kyle's like, yeah, well, detection doesn't prevent it, obviously. Well, my plan was to say that fast enough that no one called me on it. I know, I saw it.
That was my plan too, where I'm like, Helen Keller was a retard, and Kyle's like, there are videos of her talking, and I'm like, That's.
I'm watching a whole movie I'm watching a whole movie right now about Hitler, and it has interview after interview with people claiming that he was in Argentina and that they saw him, and that they, like the lady who was like the cook at this resort he was staying at, and like one after another. It's called Grey Wolf. It's on YouTube. It's free, and I'm getting closer and closer to believing that Hitler survived Grey Wolf.
And really,
Hitler absolutely killed himself in that bunker in Berlin.
How do you know?
Because I'm guessing. It makes the most sense. Like he was all.
Do you know how much money the Nazis stole from Europe? $100 billion of 1940s money.
What the fuck does that even mean? Isn't like the reason that the National Socialists were able to be so successful is they removed themselves from central banks and started their own internal economy? Isn't that what they did?
It means that they had $100 billion with which to fund their operations in South America. It also means that Argentina had the only other Nazi party in the entire world. So Bormann had been setting up a whole new escape plan for them in Argentina.
I don't know about that. That seems like fucking LARPing.
Do we have a Patreon who's like a Nazi or a Jewish Argentinian? Am I crazy? I make that up.
We got at least one.
Not to my knowledge. I think
I
think Pastor Anal Assassin is a Jew. He looks like one.
We have the most hilariously diverse patron chat for the kind of show we do, where it's like, God damn, I got 4 black guys and a couple Jews and some Asians and the whole
Vietnamese guys that dresses up like a rice farmer.
All here.
Yeah, that was great. We have to break it up into multiple sessions, right? Because there's so many of the $50 patrons now, and in the same session we got 2 gay guys.
Yes,
very diverse cast.
One was telling, I forget who it might have been Kyle. I don't know who he was talking to, but he's like, "You've got to try anal sex," and he's like, "No," he said, "No, Kyle, you don't have to find a guy that'll fuck you. Just basically experience anal sex." And I'm like, "Wow, I've never heard anyone make this argument before."
I believe it was Taylor who was unconvinced by the anal sex argument.
Was it?
I'm saying that it is
probably not, because
it is an exit only.
Maybe it was another one of the patrons. I don't know who he was trying to convince.
That's an argument that displays a lack of
creativity,
open-mindedness, imagination.
You know what? And I would go so far as to say it shows a bit of bigotry.
It seems bigoted. It seems to come from a bigoted place at the very least. I don't care for it.
Do you think his butt is bigoted?
I guarantee that butt is bigoted.
I watched Umbrella Academy 2. That thing was good. I enjoy that. They're flawed, ineffective superheroes doing their best to prevent the end of the world. I've
seen enough of that.
Really?
The Boys is what I'm really looking forward to as far as superhero stuff.
Date on
When's that coming out again?
September. This is August. It's September 4th or September 6th or something.
Yeah.
Season 2. Apparently it's based on a graphic novel, which is way more hardcore. Like the show is hardcore, right? Like people getting ripped apart and just eviscerated and just cold-blooded murdered, and there's rape and all sorts of stuff. Apparently the graphic novel is way more extreme.
Yeah.
I guess there's this they're doping these women up so that they can deal with the pain of having sex with the superheroes, and this one female superhero is drying her vaginal secretions and selling it, and people are snorting her dried up vagina juice. Like, there's all sorts of craziness going on.
I haven't
The
read the
fuck?
comics, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos that educate you about the comics. Just one thing, this is a non-spoiler. In the first episode, the new person gets, I guess you'd
Me
call-
too.
She's got to give head to Aquaman. Yeah.
Yes. Well, in the comic,
Fish sticks?
it wasn't Aquaman. By the way, he's innocent. But it was like 2 or 3 of the people in the 7. Like half the 7 made her blow them. And dude,
Nice.
and one guy,
So the actual comic, she's blowing like half a dozen guys.
yeah, Homelander does it. And he's like, "You gotta blow me," and she's like, "What?" And like, "I thought you were this like superhero," and he's like, "I am, and I seem to be having a communication problem because nobody's sucking my dick right now." It's just like so cruel.
Dude, that guy's cool. I seem to be having a problem because nobody's sucking. That guy, I will not abide any disparaging comments about this man.
Dude, he's such an like they're over the top terrible people.
Yeah.
And she's not. The
Starlight.
Starlight is actually nice and good. And but even who's the other chick? She's kind of almost like
She's the Wonder Woman stand-in.
yeah, I was gonna call her that. Yeah.
The Wonder Woman.
She's
Dressed just like her.
yeah.
Is it the same shit?
No, she's
Just
not dressed
Superman,
like Wonder Woman
Superman.
with the red,
Oh,
white, and
it's-
blue. She's dressed like all the other. What is she? Athenian or
Like
something?
cat,
What is she?
like she's well,
Amazonian.
The actress is Jewish, but she's an
No.
Amazon. Yeah,
yeah, she's dressed like all the other Amazonians in Wonder
A
Woman. if you
Jewish
saw the
actress in
movie.
Hollywood?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, she's super hot.
Well, she's like Israeli, not just Jewish,
Oh, hardcore Jewish.
and beautiful.
Yeah, she's super hot. I've been watching Shameless. Do you guys know Shameless at all?
I know of.
Dude, I tried to watch a little bit of that show and it made me sad.
All right, so I'm only like halfway into the first season, so I'm not some sort of Shameless expert, but it stars this family, the Gallaghers. Mom's gone. She's dead, I think, and dad's a drunk. So the oldest daughter kind of serves as head of the household, only responsible person. They're super poor, like crazy, can't pay their bills, always scamming and robbing to like make ends meet. Even the 9-year-old has to find some way to chip in like $6 so they can keep the power on. Like they're all a team. They're all super broke. This oldest daughter that I'm talking about, I can't get over this she's hot. She's super duper hot. Crazy fucking gorgeous hot. There's like hot, look good in a bikini, right? You go to a college campus, 1 in every 4th or 5th girl is that hot. Then there's Hollywood hot, which is like a hot you don't see every day. You know, you have to go to the mall for 6 days to see one person who's Hollywood hot.
Then follow her back home, and
You did what you got to. And then there's this chick. This chick is a standout amongst Hollywood hot. Like in my head, she's prime Jessica Biel, or who's the other Jessica?
Alba.
Thank you. Yeah, she's on that level of like Hollywood hot of the day, and she fucks.
Who are we talking about? What's her character's name?
I'm trying to look
I need a
around.
second.
Is this
Google.
Joelle Carter? Does she play Ava Crowder? This is Justified, right? Shameless,
No,
right?
Shameless.
My bad.
Her name is Emily Rossum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who that is. Okay, yeah.
Oh, do you?
You know who's great and
Yeah.
everything is
Yeah, I
William
know who
H.
that is.
Macy. William
Yeah,
H.
she's
Macy
got a lot
is so-
of. She done a good bit of nude work.
she does.
Wait, what's her name?
She has a
Emily
compilation on Pornhub.
And
What-
Reddit.
What is her
Oh.
name again?
Emily Rossum, Rossum. I feel like this like looking at these pictures, they're all safe for work. They're not. She doesn't look totally standout hot in these pictures, but I'm telling you, in Shameless,
Yeah, I disagree with you on just how hot she is. I think she's. I
people
think
have different
she's like-
bullseyes. You know, some people might think she's too skinny.
No, she's very pretty.
No, I just think her face is that pretty. You know, I just don't think she's very. I don't think she's like a top 1%.
You don't think
attractive
she has a
person.
pretty face? I think she has a pretty face.
I think she has a pretty-ish face, but I don't think she's like a goddess amongst women.
I think Kyle finds her to be regular pretty, whereas I find her to be like that one girl from Hollywood that comes along every couple of years. Like
You guys might be surprised here. I'm watching one of her videos. There's actually an ad here to give you a bigger dick. Do you guys
is that how you get Emily Rossum? If you buy that product and your dick grows a little bit?
That's how you do that. You spend a bunch. This one says
disconnect. I keep having. I wanted to say, can you be poor and that hot? Don't you just find someone who's willing to pay for your way?
There are definitely
I've seen some. You don't see a lot of hot homeless.
Right. Thank you, Kyle.
Homeless is different than poor.
This chick is next to homeless. She lives in a tiny place with
you can't be. It's hard to be homeless if you're not poor.
Fair enough, but it's a different echelon of person between a poor and a homeless. Most homeless people are absolutely insane. I'm only judging by my experience with them in St. Louis City.
So are most women. What's your point?
She's at a level where she can barely keep a roof above her head and occasionally goes without hot water or electricity.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
You know it's so cold in here because we haven't been able to pay the gas bill. That's how broke she is. At that hot? Dude, there are guys lining up to pay for her gas bill.
Yeah, there are websites that'll help you make that happen too.
Right, nowadays they've removed the friction in that transaction.
Yeah. I mean, you can just get yourself an OnlyFans. You'll have all kind of simps out there just making it rain.
Yeah, it's inconceivable that someone that hot can't pay their bills.
Yeah. It's like whenever that giant-titted girl from Mad Men. Whenever I see her in anything, and they don't talk about just Christina Hendricks, and they don't at least acknowledge how big her titties are, I'm just like, well, this isn't even realistic. Like when your titties are that big, like there's no way we have 3 conversations and it doesn't come up. Like she's wearing a button-up shirt, and she's clearly wearing a size too large just to accommodate her titties, and then those buttons are just like, they're just screaming in pain.
I had to sew these on with Kevlar.
Yeah. No.
It looks like if she pulled her shoulders back, her whole front of her clothing would just explode off.
You would get shot by a button if she would have pulled it.
Take a fucking eye out. Before the show, we were talking about Dr. Disrespect, how obviously he sort of Twitch seemingly cut him off, refunded all his subscribers and everything. He announced on Instagram like 6 hours ago that he might be streaming somewhere very soon. He's streaming right now on YouTube. 20,000 people watching live. Donations rolling in.
I have an unfounded theory about what he did.
I want to hear it.
All right, so here's where it comes from. Right away, his sponsors dropped him, and then they picked him back up. I think maybe he said something to them like this is overblown, or maybe told a fib, possibly, to get back in their good graces. But who didn't go away was Twitch and Discord. He was a Discord partner, and Discord is like, fuck it, you can't come back. I think he wrote something that wasn't politically correct, was maybe unkind in Discord, and they have it in text, and that's why he's banned.
Was it funny? Do we know what he said?
I know, I completely made
I bet it was
up.
Funny as hell.
I completely made it up. But yeah,
if it's someone making a joke, you should give them a free pass. They're trying to be funny.
I think that because Discord didn't drop him, the offense happened on that platform.
Okay.
Weird.
Or wouldn't let him back, I should say.
I don't even know like what to guess happened with all that. I've never had a problem with that guy. So, whatever. Wish him the best, I suppose. Looks like he's going to be. I know YouTube hasn't offered him like some sort of special deal or anything. Like he didn't get like some kind of signing bonus, which you'd expect. $2 million signing bonus wherever he goes. And,
I thought he was going to be starting his own streaming service.
You would think he would have done. He'd have done something like that.
I thought that was the most favorable interpretation of why he's
that makes
going.
The most sense.
It's probably his entrepreneurial ambition that got him banned off the platform. I bet that's what it was. I bet he was trying to create a competitive service. That is wish casting kindness to me.
But not just that. There's a lot of evidence that would point to that. It just the fact that like we didn't hear anything else. It seems like with this the way the culture is right now, whenever somebody steps into just a little bit of shit, like they're calling it Bryan Callen right now, from Brendan Schaub's buddy for some sort of sexual assault allegations, like when he was
Let's go
a
to that
young
one
man.
Next. Yeah, that one's kind of interesting to me. But
and I love that all
Twitch
Reddit
never tells people what they did. Twitch never outs people for their bad stuff. They just say they broke our terms of service. They never give details. This is completely consistent with all their other bans.
Yeah, but how would only Twitch know about it? You know, that's what's weird to me is that like, yeah, Twitch knows about it and Discord knows about it, but no one else knows what he did because it's clearly not something he did publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it just seems real weird. I'd love to know. I'm curious, but not curious enough to fucking think about it after this conversation right here. You know,
I had like every so often I'm like, it's weird. I thought that whatever Dr. Disrespect did would get out. I was confident. I would have bet on it. And it's not out. Nobody knows. Yeah. So, but yeah, Twitch never like gives details on what someone did wrong. They just say they violated their terms of service or community guidelines, and that's it. It could mean anything. And they have consistently kept that secret. So this isn't something that's unique to Dr. Disrespect. Yeah. So I guess he's on YouTube now, and no one's gonna know what he did. It's weird that secret never came out, but sometimes secrets are kept. Bryan Callen. So,
well, I think it's Callen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Bryan Callen. I first heard about it on his apology. Like I didn't even know that he was getting me. You too. Yeah. So I heard his apology. His apology was very convincing. He's like, I've been told to lay low. I've been told to this. He's like, no, I am unequivocally saying this did not happen. Everybody who knows me knows that I would never do something like that. And this is complete fiction and it never happened. And I'm like, oh, what never happened? You know, like what is he denying?
Yeah.
And do you know, I don't want to get the details wrong because it's important to get stuff.
I don't know the details.
There were
because
like four women who came out and accused him at once of.
See, I went to Reddit because I thought that like, you know, it was a Reddit link that I was getting on like either the Bad Kid Podcast show Reddit or it was Joe Rogan's subreddit. And so I was like, the commenters over on Joe Rogan's subreddit, they'll cue me into whatever he's being allegedly accused of. Nope. They're just making fun of his eye surgery. He had lid surgery because he had like droopy eyelids. So he had like this eyelid surgery, which I guess they're considering like too feminine a surgery for a man to get. And so they're just roasting him about that comment after comment as far as I could scroll down.
I see him in this picture as to why he would have gotten it. Yeah, it's one thing that happens to some people as they age. Their eyelids kind of close their eyes more and more. It doesn't hurt your vision, but it's not a great look.
It can though. It can get so bad
really?
that it interferes with your vision. And I guess it's something that he's got a family history. Like I don't know, his father had it really bad or something. It's what they're saying, or it's what he's saying, or it's what they're saying he said. But yeah, I don't know.
Catherine Fior Tigerman alleges that Callen raped her. So that's, I guess, the big one. She comes and says, I felt relief. Finally, I have power against him, etc. Like Tigerman, 3 other women shared their accusations against Callen. So once one came out, then 3 more came out. Green accused Callen of pinning her against the dressing room wall in 1999, kissing her, and she immediately reported it to her coworkers. An aspiring actress said in 2012, when she was 23, she had a 4-year affair with Callen while he was married. He told her in 2016 that women have a biological primal desire to be raped. A comedian named Tiffany King in 2017 said Callen tried to pressure her to give him oral sex in exchange for stage time or money at a time that he knew she was struggling financially. It was so humiliating. He was someone I looked up to and had control over something I loved. And there were 3, right? I think, did I read 3 or 2? Anyway, so yeah, rape, pushed her against a wall,
kissed her,
infidelity, and blow me for stage time, which is like, I don't know, a hero.
An easy way to get laid. And nothing illegal about that at all. Just a little sleazy, I suppose.
Nothing illegal about that.
No, there's not. Like
I know. I love your takes.
But wait, are you sure that's not illegal?
Of course it's not illegal.
I'm sure that's not illegal. You know,
Harvey Weinstein isn't in jail, right?
I mean, Harvey Weinstein is in jail for rape. He's not in jail for getting a lot of unqualified actresses.
What is it?
Huge careers in Hollywood.
Boss,
nobody ever said that.
It's not sexual assault. I don't think it's sexual
harassment.
Is it harassment? Yeah, maybe that is the term they use.
Is that what it is?
Like when your boss pressures you to have sex.
It's not her boss, though.
Yeah, he's control of her stage time.
Yeah,
So
that's actually
Irrelevant.
That-
Not the same thing.
I don't know.
If I tell somebody who wants to be a guest on this show, they can come on if they suck my dick. That is not harassment. That is just a friendly deal between two individs.
Why do you think Juji got on?
You're goddamn right. That's why Juji got. Why do you? I made that little bitch wear those shorts. That was part of it.
Tom, you put those fucking shorts back on. He was trying to wear jeans before the beginning of the show. Kyle said, "Put those little shorts back on, bitch."
If they're sexy enough to wear for me, they're sexy enough for the show, and you keep them on. Make sure you flash a little dong on the show. I think you may have flashed a little dong at one point. I don't know what I saw. We started making fun of those lady shorts he had on, and he starts crossing and crossing his legs like it's fucking Basic Instinct. And
Did you guys see dong? I didn't see.
I don't know if it was dong or some sort of undergarment. Maybe panties too. I saw them.
I was just noticing how
Dude,
nice and
like
sculpted
Kyle, I think I saw Kyle see dong at the same time as me, and then his shorts were longer than I thought because they look like they were 6 inches long. And I'm like, maybe I didn't see dong. Maybe I'm crazy. There was something going on.
I saw something up those shorts.
People go back and I. Zoom
in on that dong.
Zoom
folks.
in.
don't tell people to do that.
No, definitely don't do
If you
that.
look close enough, you'll see a tattoo of my name.
Surely you've benefited
But this
from
wasn't
somebody else's
harassment.
work in Basic Instinct. It's time to pay it forward here at PKA.
Yeah, but see, that's not harassment. What I did to that gentleman whose name I can't remember. That's not harassment at all. That's just the way she goes, Bubs.
Life in the big city.
Life in the big city.
Fucking way she goes, Bubs.
Fucking way she
Jesus,
goes.
Ricky, why the fuck just gotta go that way?
Lost all the liquor money, boys. You lost all the
I'm just
liquor money.
trying to get enough money for my kiddies to stay alive in my fucking shed. Fuck.
I showed my dad some Trailer Park Boys a couple days ago. He fucking loved that shit. I showed up that I was just scrolling through the episodes because the episode titles are so silly, and one of them is called, oh shit, what is it? Kitties don't belong in dope trailers or something like that. And he went, kitties don't belong in dope trailers. What is this? And I was like, well, these are the Trailer Park Boys. Let's go. And we watched that episode, and he's just like, this cocksucker right here, his tummy doesn't feel right. He doesn't. I think he's kind of sick. We need to go ask Sam. He used to be a veterinarian. Maybe he knows something. And Sam's like, oh, that's one sick kitty you got there, Bubs. I think he's gonna die. Sam just being a piece of shit.
I was hoping Sam was a veteran.
A fucking weed cart, man.
Oh no, he was a veterinarian, but he lost his license for pulling a bullet out of Ricky's ass.
Yeah. that is a funny little plot line there.
Yeah.
It's a good ass show.
Yeah, so
It's
I
a
don't
great
know.
fucking show.
With Bryan Callen, this circles back to my I sometimes I feel like everyone knows which allegations are credible and which ones aren't, except me. I can't tell. The fact that 4 people came out at the same time.
I'll tell you what I think.
Go ahead.
What do you
I think the first allegation is false, and the following 2 or 3 are real. Because I think the first lady is just lying because I don't believe you raped anyone.
Okay.
Whatever, for whatever reason. But the next 3 allegations all sound like some shit that, like, it's her side of what happened. And even her worst way of describing it doesn't sound all that bad. He pushed me up against a wall and kissed me. I mean, I've pushed a lot of women up against a lot of walls and kissed them. They were okay with it. Let me be clear about this. Like, there was, they fought a little. They fought a little.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they're not nearly as strong.
They
Not
fight
even
just
close.
to make sure you're a strong
Not even
enough
close.
man to
And
get
look,
it done.
once you got them up against the boards, Taylor knows this better than anybody. You just throw a little bit of shoulder action into them. They got nothing for that.
Look at Taylor's shoulders. Fucking knock a girl out.
God, give them a little bit of that. Oh, she's going nowhere. But no, seriously, that I've done that. Everybody's done that. Who hasn't pushed a woman against a wall and kissed them before? And then
anyone who's been in a romantic relationship has.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Or maybe a not so romantic relationship.
Okay, well, that's also,
I'm kind of a hip toss
semi-violent
guy,
relationship.
but I like to throw her.
So I got a problem with that. Maybe she does. I feel like a lot of times women regret things that they've done after the fact, but in the moment they gave no outward signs that they were not down for whatever was going on. And it's like normal relationship stuff.
Bryan Callen.
There's a magic word, right? If you say no, now it's something criminal. That's stop.
Yeah, say no, and
everybody knows it.
Especially if the ref hears it.
I forget. There is an accusation. I forget the details of it. It doesn't even matter which one it was specifically, but the girl's like, I blew him. I sucked his dick. He came, and man, I didn't want to. And it's like, I don't know. If I'm a guy getting blown, I'm taking this as a sign that things are going right. You know? Yeah. And like, you're going to have to be a little less subtle with me. Like, just say no.
Unless I've got like my like knees wrapped around the back of your head and I'm like skull fucking you, then this is on you. You sucked my dick. Right? I didn't like we're not talking about skull fucking here. Oh, hey, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. You interrupted us right in the middle of skull fucking talk.
Well, she can't hear that. Thank God.
Thank God.
It's all fine, honey.
Me and my friends are just goofing.
We're talking about sexual assault, specifically skull fucking.
Oh, thank God, I'm on headphones.
But yeah, and then the other one, like I get it's pretty skeezy to tell somebody like, yeah, if you suck my dick, maybe I can get somebody to give you some more stage time. But I don't think it's criminal. I think that it shows low moral character.
I think it might be criminal.
I think it's criminal if he is the boss and like has like if it's his place. But if I say like hypothetically, like let's say I've got some pull with you, Woody.
Okay.
Like I can, let's say you have your own like side business where you do gardening work, right? And you need a new gardener. And I say to Jose, hey Jose, if you give me a hand job, I'll put in a good word to Woody. There's no way that's illegal because I'm not part of your gardening business. I'm just associated with Woody, who owns a gardening business. I think that's what we're looking at here because Bryan Callen doesn't own any fucking comedy clubs.
Can you barter for sexual acts or is that prostitution? Maybe he's breaking the law on this. Maybe Jose is the true criminal.
No, you can't barter for sexual acts.
Well,
that's considered prostitution.
You can in some countries.
But in this one, I feel like Jose.
I think you can in Canada.
In every state other than Vegas.
Isn't Bryan Callen Canadian?
Yes.
Well, there you go. This is all legal in Canada.
So I'm thinking, Kyle, that in that situation, I'm thinking, Kyle, that in that situation where Jose is giving you a hand job to work for me, you're really the victim. You're the John in this situation.
Calloused hands.
And Jose is the prostitute, and you are merely the guy who's fallen into his trap.
Oh, those calluses, Jose. Oh, the texture of your palms. It's like, it's like you're wearing work gloves and you're not even. Oh, God.
But with the Bryan Callen thing, like
spit on it.
When it became 4 women all came out together and said that he's been bad to me, suddenly I'm like, well, shit, maybe he's, maybe he uses sex as a payoff or like I don't know, maybe he has the wrong idea around loving relationships.
Maybe just likes to fuck and these girls need to grow the fuck up and stop being so sensitive. Sensitive. Because look, rape's wrong, sexual assault's wrong, sexual harassment's wrong in the workplace. All those things are very wrong. They're criminal. Those people should be punished to the fullest extent of the silly laws that they make about them. But
what are you drinking coffee at 10:15 at night?
No.
You're gonna be got Tarkov to play. What's your problem?
Do I judge you about what you drink?
Of course not. I can imagine.
Drink a 6-pack of beer at 10 p.m. No one even blinks. Have 1 cup of coffee. Taylor loses his mind.
It's just like I'm so sensitive to caffeine. I can't imagine having a cup of coffee.
Yeah, Woody's got a big day tomorrow.
I would be lit until 10 a.m.
I mean, it's true. I do have to be up by Saturday morning to push the show live.
Yeah. If he's not up in 56 hours or so, then well, in that case, Chiz will upload the show, but still.
All right, well, my comment is redacted.
Taylor, I've wanted to do this do you still have vaping things?
No, I haven't vaped in a while. I don't have any of that stuff
I
anymore.
saw someone on Facebook or Reddit or something exhale into a face mask, and it was just like, and I'm like, man, I would love to recreate that on the show. Kyle, you don't have vaping supplies, do you? I don't.
No, not any illegal stuff.
I don't have anything.
Well, all
I
right.
have nothing.
That's totally true. Like the whole vaping thing, and those surgical masks don't even fully keep out vapor, which apparently is a much larger molecule than what like a virus would be.
Right,
And so
right.
like, you just see like the explosion to the sides.
I
The
I saw
viruses
it.
aren't traveling on their own through the air. They're in the water molecules. They're in the water. They're in the saliva and the spittle.
So I exhaled with a mask on 2 days ago, and my glasses fogged up, and I'm like, I wonder what it would look like with a vape. You know, like I had sunglasses on, and it was like, yeah, I wonder. I just want to see what it's like. I'd like
Did
to
you see
visualize.
Fauci is now saying everyone needs to wear goggles?
Goggles? Dude, that guy
Sungla-
can go fuck himself. I'm not wearing goggles.
Sunglasses. He said sunglasses will do. I wear sunglasses all the fuck. Literally, if I walk out the house, I've got my fucking get some Ray-Bans or something
He
on.
said you should wear goggles, but sunglasses will do. That's like saying, yeah, if you're gonna go out into space, it'd be great if you wore an astronaut suit, but an Adidas tracksuit will be almost as good. Are you retarded? Either you need goggles or you don't.
I imagine I need to see the quote because I have this. I do this. It's a flaw of mine. I hear something insane, and then I try to normalize it. I try to be like, what I bet he said was his goggles are perfect because sunglasses are pretty good at like safety in a woodworking shop or a metal shop or something like that.
True.
But not perfect, right? There's goggles would be perfect. I imagine that's like where his head is. Kyle's
Okay.
If you have goggles or an eye shield, you should use it. Quote, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
okay.
Goggles
So now
or
I'm like, does he mean in a medical situation? Because that's what doctors are doing all the time. I always see him.
He means human beings.
That's fucking absurd. We
I
gotta
don't
wear
know. I'm wearing it. I'm down. I think it's funny. I'm gonna show up.
swimwear. Just
Someone replies to his tweet. Someone replies to the tweet. Is this good enough? And it's a clip from the movie Bubble Boy. He's in that sphere of plastic just rolling down the street.
Well, Kyle, you would know this. What is it? Oh, the Moors. The
Moops!
the moops. The moops. That's what it is.
I'm sorry. The answer is moops. No, that's a misprint on the card. It's Moors. The Moors. No. The card says moops. There are no moops. They're the Moors.
And then he dies because he's so
And,
upset.
yeah, he has a fucking breakdown. Well, George starts choking George with the gloves that extend out of the bubble,
Yeah.
and then you hear psss, the bubble's been breached.
Did you guys hear that the FBI went to Jake Paul's house and seized his weapons?
I think
What
it was the
for?
other one.
What did they do?
I'm reading it though.
Or what
It says
did he
Jake-
do?
Oh, okay, I thought it was Logan. Okay.
I don't know.
So they're not really announcing why they did it. Like they're not making it public, but they went to his house. They seized multiple firearms. They're saying it's connected to the Arizona shopping mall incident where I guess he was part of looting, maybe. In any case, the feds went into his house and took his guns. And I saw this and thought, well, this is a transparent attempt to be a PKA host, I think. Right? He's trying to be...
Let's get what is it? Jake Paul, Logan
Yeah.
Paul, whichever one it was. Let's grab him, get him on the show.
We can
It'll really increase our what's his fan base? Mostly like 13, 14-year-old girls.
Yeah, only about 30 million of them.
Right?
Well, we can. Hey, if we grab a little bit of that helps.
Oh, it'd be. Imagine your sex life then.
Yeah,
No, I don't want to.
You think it's
it's similar to it is now.
you get one of those little gals that go up against the boards. You got to give her a knee to put her down. She's not even tall enough to give the shoulder. Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Oh, that was too much.
She's easy
No,
enough
A little
to lift.
pedophilia. I mixed pedophilia with your favorite thing, hockey. I thought I'd mix my favorite with your favorite, and we could mesh right there. But no.
No, apparently not. Apparently not as close. We're like ships in the night, passing.
We'll get there. We'll
silently.
get there.
We'll get there.
But yeah, I don't know. I've just felt like he kind of fit in with the gang here. That was my take on it.
Yeah, I heard something about that too. It could have been any number of things. Yeah, I mean, if you commit some felonies on camera, especially, probably not ideal. Interesting that it's the FBI and not the state police, though. That is interesting to me because I never had to deal with the FBI.
Yeah,
It was a
I
different
have it in
federal
front of
agency.
me. It was definitely the FBI, and they said seizing multiple firearms in a raid that was connected to a riot at an Arizona shopping mall.
Yeah, that'll do it. He went full Frank Reynolds out there, just like multi-millionaire, just stealing,
Wait.
on camera.
Did he steal on camera? Because I saw people say he stole on camera on Reddit, but to me, he was vlogging in front of a crowd. Not much different than remember Dan, rest in peace. Like he wanted to hold up a PKA sign at the Hong Kong riots.
Yeah.
Right, but he wasn't like rioting or being like he just kind of wanted to be surrounded by it. That was the lens through which I saw Jake Paul's thing. Go ahead.
I think they're both culpable if you compare it that way. Frankly, I think if you're in a crowd of rioters, you're a rioter. Look, I put myself in these situations.
Okay.
Like, you won't see me in a fucking riot because I know that the cops might start firing indiscriminately with beanbags and shit and split my goddamn skull open. I don't want to be associated with rioters. It just like. If you flip it over to maybe your slightly more liberal viewpoint, remember when the Charlottesville thing happened, you certainly wouldn't be that open to recognizing that there's a good element and a bad element. That
Okay.
Trump said that and got roasted, right? But I believe that, frankly. I think that there were some people there who were just like marching for whatever the fuck they were marching for. And then all of a sudden a bunch of guys showed up with hoods and torches and they were like, but mosquito nets and barbecue, I hope. But I put myself there and I'm like, oh shit, we gotta go. We gotta go right now. We gotta leave. This is not our crowd. It turns out this is no good.
Yeah, I see your point. I'm still like looking at it through the blue lens. Like, no, it's completely different, Kyle. One's for the lulz.
One's a Marxist organization stealing from local business.
Yeah.
The other is a group of alt-right conservatives who have a permit who happen to be wearing something offensive.
I could just
Big difference.
I could just see myself being like, look, there's a real looter behind me. He's running. He's holding a television. They're like, look, this is the best vlog ever. Am I not right?
You're trying to interview a looter.
right? Like
He's just stabbing you.
And I think I just projected that upon what Jake Paul was doing there. Like I could be wrong, but that's
Yeah.
I just look. You'd have a hard time convincing me that this multi-millionaire was there for a free ottoman out of Target or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I think it's the Frank Reynolds situation. He was there, so might as well take something, right?
The warthog.
The warthog.
See that? Why is it when white people are looting, they call it surviving, and when black people are looting, they call it looting? And then G's like, well, because the black people are stealing speakers and the white people are stealing food. And then Frank's like, nah, it's just fucking racist nonsense. Like, that's a real good Frank scene.
Yeah, they won't show that footage from Katrina ever again.
Yeah, probably not. It's very on PC.
Yeah. It's interesting when facts aren't politically correct enough to be viewed or spoken of. Facts.
Kyle, are you starting to notice patterns? That's a little bigoted.
I mean, we talked about how I have no pride in my race or anything like that last week, and how I will never have any pride at all, and I'm not allowed to, and I'm glad that I'm not allowed to have any pride whatsoever.
As an Englishman, I think it's cool that we once conquered all the other white people. All the people in general.
Just really tore him up.
Yeah. I don't even know why
French,
you're talking to me Italian.
Germans.
I remember.
We had a rough time with the Spanish, but
the Spanish did a pretty good job too. They had their own conquests.
Oh, they had a whole group of people just for doing that. They had the conquistadors.
Sun never set on the English.
They were the Spanish people were Spain was so successful. They have everyone convinced that Spanish is like a South American language.
It is,
you know what I mean?
At this point.
That's what I'm saying.
They created a whole race of people. They were so efficient at raping They raped until there were no more Mayans. There were just Mexicans.
I think English was the most spoken language until recently
was?
when English, until Mandarin passed it. Am I right?
Oh no, Mandarin passed a long time. Cantonese beat us a long time ago. There's so many of those fuckers over there.
It's definitely a long time ago. Not
that
like,
was
how long's a long time ago?
Like 30 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I think we're on the same page then. Yeah. So English, look, you have to go back a little bit to make England the best. So 1700s, 1800s, English was the most widely spoken language in the world, and that implies a certain kind of dominance.
But then there's like, I think it was even in the 90s, early 2000s, a trivia question on Jeopardy. It was like, what nation has the most English speakers on Earth? And it's China. Even in like 1998, it was China.
Well,
because
that says something for English dominance too.
By sheer number of people,
that says something about the Chinese educational system
and English dominance. They're doing it for economic reasons.
Sure.
Dude, China is about to eat our lunch. And they have been for the last 30 years. Like all those trade agreements,
they're on the way down.
All those trade agreements did was funnel money into China from us on bad agreements.
What
like
trade agreements?
The one that Clinton signed. What was it? NAFTA, right?
That wouldn't be China though. That was just the North American free trade agreement.
What was the one he signed with China? Because we've been losing money to China for fucking ever.
On Clinton, I don't know. Obama tried to do one with everybody but China, the Trans-Pacific Partnership or something like that. And basically what that was like America and then like all these other countries that weren't China. And it was going to hopefully give us this like power around China because we were trade partners with all the people that were important to China. But Trump came in and said, fuck that. Don't know if he's right or wrong. It's complicated. But then Trump started putting tariffs against China. I don't know if he has any.
It might have even been Bush that did it because Bush was a big free trade guy. You know,
it could be. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, but it's complicated. I feel like you're not going to sell more than you buy from a country whose shit is cheaper than yours. And you're always like quality. You know, like as a programmer. When I was a programmer, I competed with less expensive programmers, right? Because it's a global world. That's that. And it's like, don't you realize Americans are so much better? You should pay the extra for us. And I believed that. On the other hand, when I needed a hammer, that shit was $8 and came from China. I didn't practice what I preached. Sometimes people like cheap shit, even if it's not as good.
Yeah.
And that's where China wins.
China, you son of a bitch, you done it again. You just keep beating us with the same shit.
They're good. This, dude, all right, we're going to politics a little bit, but it's not about Trump or whatever. There's this $600 unemployment benefit that's been happening. It just ended. So here's how it works, everybody. If you get on unemployment, you get whatever your state gives you. And that varies. I think some of the worst states give you about a quarter of your income, and some of the better states give you like a half or even 2/3 of your income, right? So, but not your whole income, but a good chunk of it. And then the federal government just tossed $600 on top of that, right? Like, we're unemployed, things are tough, no one saw this coming. We're going to give you an extra $600. So there's a fair amount of people who earn more on unemployment than they did at work. Yeah. And the Republicans are saying this is a disincentive for guys to go back to work. Like, who would go back to work and take a pay cut? Isn't it better to be unemployed and make more?
That is true. I just talked to a cousin of mine in Colorado who was in that exact same situation where he was like, I don't know why the hell I would go back. I'm getting $600 a week.
There are a couple people in my universe in that situation. So the Republicans are like, it is a disincentive. People aren't going back to work. Unemployment is like unnecessarily high, etc. And then you have Democrats who are just like, yeah, but it seems kind of nice. You know, maybe if employers had to compete with this $600, they would know that they have to, in effect, pay more, right? It's like a backdoor minimum wage increase. Like, you know, you got to compete with this $600 now. I see both sides of it. I think I kind of line up with the Republicans, but it's complicated. I thought it was interesting.
It definitely is complicated because there are people out there who are struggling fucking real deal right now that need a lot of help. And it's a shame that there isn't a better system to parse out the people who actually need it versus the people who are taking advantage of it, which I love my cousin. I liked his friends. Some of them were absolutely taking advantage of this situation instead of trying to use it to rehabilitate and get back into working life, so that part of it is definitely real. There are people out there who are abusing it, but I get it. Like, what the fuck is the government supposed to do? Of course they should be handing out money to people. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. Do you want this country to be Amazon, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and then a bunch of Kroger owned banners when you go to grocery shop? Do you want that to be the country? Because that's what we're headed for.
What more do I need?
What more do you need? I don't know. Once they have a totally solidified hold on our economy, I'm sure prices will stay the same and they'll be really cool about it, right? Once Kroger knows they're the sole grocery supplier of the country, once they've edged out everyone else, once Amazon knows. Do you know Amazon made $86 billion this quarter? $8 billion higher than was anticipated. There was no one happier about this than Jeff Bezos.
But that doesn't make him evil. Like that just means that he's got a good business.
My boy got to be banned from Twitch.
Dude, if you're worth $130 billion, you're fucking evil. Sorry. You're evil. You're a piece of shit.
Keep in mind, it's not like he owns the company all himself, right? He's got stockholders to worry about. He's literally not allowed to try to not make as much money as possible.
That's true.
I get it.
It's against the rules for him to not make as much money as possible.
I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that it's when people are worth that much money, it's not evil. That's the wrong phrasing. It's absolutely fucking absurd.
It wouldn't be hard for Jeff Bezos to argue that, hey, we've got great employees and these guys are so great they deserve a chunk of it, and that's good business. I think if he did that, if they made 10 billion less, what would you say, 89 billion a quarter? If it was 79 billion this quarter, probably it'd be okay to pay his people more.
Yeah, and he should pay his people more. Like, he's the big rah-rah shish boom ba Koch brothers guy who's
I wouldn't pay him more.
Kind of more libertarian. Like, he loves open borders. He loves just flowing immigration because Jeff Bezos takes advantage of illegal labor.
You pay what people are willing to work for, and you make as much money for your stockholders as you possibly can. That's the way it works. Now, if a monopoly develops, then the law says that the government can break that monopoly up. So in this situation where every grocery store is Kroger, then they get broken up.
Governments are reluctant to break up monopolies, and it turns out that they're right not to usually. They did it with AT&T, and it was a great thing. But usually monopolies that raise their prices tend to find competitors popping up all over the place. Like if Amazon starts to suck, I don't think the barrier to entry is that large that someone can't take over their audiophile market. Then someone else goes after their toy market, and someone else goes after this or that. Taylor's saying no, but I feel like I could pop up a Squarespace and
totally solidified. They own the SEO, they own the SEM, they own everything. There's a reason that they made $10 billion almost more than they were projected to this quarter. It's because
everybody's at home, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that nobody is happier with this than Jeff Bezos. He has a total market control when it comes to e-commerce. And I know this because I work in consumer products, that I see Walmart, I see all these other companies, even the huge ones like Walmart, kind of a little bit panicking because they see Amazon on the horizon. That's going to overtake them. It is, Amazon is a fucking beast. And when what was it, a few days ago, maybe a week ago, when they have all the congressmen there to interrogate all of the tech people, and it's like, are you retarded? Zuckerberg sitting right there has more money than every congressperson combined. You think he can't decide what district he wants someone to get elected in and then do it if he wanted? And they're questioning him like they have any sort of authority? No, you are the congressman. He is the fucking multi-billionaire who can do whatever he wants. If Mark Zuckerberg decided, hey, that person questioning me, I don't like him, he could bankroll anyone else, destroy them in that district. And so it's all fucking kabuki theater. It's nonsense. When we look at these politicians questioning billionaires, it's like, Jim Jordan, a Republican, who was, I'm going hard on them. Do you know who his second biggest contributor was in 2018? Google.
Yeah, so I watched that. Jim Jordan was on Tucker Carlson's show. And Jim Jordan's like, Mr. going after him. What are you laughing at?
I can't say.
Oh, okay. Not related to this.
No.
Do I have a booger?
No. Someone just shared something with me for the show. And
is it tremendously insensitive? Share it.
Yes, it is tremendously insensitive.
Share it. Let me finish my thought. Anyway, Tucker Carlson roasted Jim Jordan. And he's like, hey, I see you take all this money from him. And Jim Jordan's like, yeah, but that doesn't influence me. Yeah. Have you written any bills? Did you see me up there? I was giving him a hard time. Right. Have you passed any laws? Have you done anything substantial? Yeah, did you hear my words? I was giving him a hard time. Right. Have you done anything? You're a congressman. Well, we've got things that are moving slowly. Right. It's been years.
Good.
How long have you had this job?
For Tucker Carlson for putting his feet to the fire on that.
He kind of did, yeah. And I'm not a big Tucker Carlson fan, but that doesn't mean I can't like him ever.
I like him.
And yeah, I think he's just insincere most of the time with his manipulative words. But in this case, he was kind of nailing Jim Jordan and not letting. He just kept trying to be like, I'm the guy going hardest. And they're like, yeah, it's kabuki theater.
Yeah, it's full of trash. The same way that like Dan Crenshaw, the eye patch guy, they'll be like, oh man, he's going hard. And it's like, yeah, what's he done? What's he actually done? Oh, wait, he's just like a Democrat from 2004. No thanks. Watch the first 10 seconds of this Beirut blast. Okay.
Did you see it, Woody?
Oh, yeah, I saw it right away. Yeah, I saw that somewhere else too.
Did you timestamp this?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
we can say it.
Big of wings, and they're right in the middle of the Beirut.
From France 24. They're talking about the Beirut blast. All right. So first of all, what someone did, and honestly, it's not cool that they did this. It really isn't. Look, sometimes something's fucking inappropriate, and you just laugh. That doesn't mean what's done is the right thing to do. I wish nobody had done this, but somebody put wings amongst the victims who were missing in the Beirut blast and gave him a false name. And they uploaded a photo of him to like the wall of missing people that's out there. And in this newscast, there's this lady and she's talking about all the missing, and they sort of scroll through a bunch of photos, and there amongst them on the fucking nightly news is wings amongst the victims of the Beirut blast who are still missing.
That's hilarious.
I didn't know what I was watching. Like someone just sent this to me, and they were like, well, it was in the Discord, and somebody is like, has Kyle seen this? Ha 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 ha. And then somebody else goes, I hope they talk about it on the show. And I'm like, the Beirut blast? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, well, we talked about that a lot. It's crazy news story this week. So like I clicked on it anyway to see what they were talking about. Cause like 4 people in a row were just like, oh my God. And then I got to that. And that's when I like held my hand over my face and reacted, because I was genuinely shocked by what I saw.
Taylor and I both thought we had boogers. We both had the same thing.
I was like, do I have boogers?
I have a booger, don't I? Yeah,
oh my fucking God.
It's a little insensitive, but if I'm wings, that's not super hurtful. Like of all the things that your wings has endured, this to me is.
That's not why it's fucked up. It's not fucked up that they put wings amongst victims. It's fucked up for the people who he's taken up a slot on a page where they are looking for their missing loved ones, right? Like maybe, just maybe, someone doesn't see, I don't know, the picture of the guy that they found who's amnesia. I don't know. I can't come up with a scenario where this is like legitimately bad, but like I'm sure there is one, because like he's taken up some real estate on this page where they're looking for people who are missing.
This short video we saw, they showed, 18 different people. Maybe one of them is someone's mom who could have been shown instead. Like maybe could have done something.
Exactly. Yeah. An actual person who is in Beirut and fucking missing right now because there was a horrible event is now not on the front page of the missing people. It's ridiculous that it appears he's on the front page of the victims. I don't know how
he's fourth.
He's
of
like
the whole
fourth. He's
thing.
the fourth.
The fourth highest result.
I can't help it. It's funny.
Wings is
it's
really
fucked, but
famous. I mean, like he's like, look, his Twitch streams do well, right? It's 700 people. That's a good score. We're 900, whatever he pulls. But his fame rivals like Dr. Disrespect at 20,000. You know, like he's widely known.
He's widely known. He's notorious. God damn.
All right.
I wasn't going to talk about that on this episode. I knew that he'd been posted on there and I didn't think it was cool. But when I saw that news clip, that's just too much.
So this was a Reddit topic from a few days ago. Based on nothing but pure speculation, which
like that.
celebrity do you think has the worst breath?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Is he the Jurassic Park dude?
Yeah. I imagine him eating like a lot of preserved fish.
I came up with Danny DeVito on my own. I also have a bunch of good ones that people commented with. Post Malone is great. Post Malone is he was the top rated one. But I just feel like Danny DeVito, yuck.
I don't know. I like to imagine Danny smells minty fresh all the time. Like, we'll see what Taylor thinks since he hasn't heard our picks.
Yeah.
Taylor, what celebrity do you think has the worst breath?
Oh man, the worst breath. Probably Aziz Ansari.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's
a
racist.
curry reference, huh?
Because it very spicy.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of curry.
Literally racist.
I came up with Danny DeVito. Kyle, who'd you say?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, dude, I bet he does have bad breath. That's a good ass guess. Yeah, I bet. You know, he's talking like this all the time and very clipped, very very controlled, and I bet his breath is pretty terrible.
But lots of huffing and puffing with that cadence he's got going on.
You place this little drop on the back of your hand, and you see what
Could
side.
you get out of my face, Jeff? God damn! That tickles. But she's like falling for it while fucking Dr. Grant's in the back getting cucked. He's just sitting there like, this motherfucker's really putting the moves on my lady with this water drop on the arm fucking bullshit. Like what if I just knock him the fuck out right now? Do you think I'll still get the gig for the Jurassic shit? Can I just fuck Jeff Goldblum up right here in this Ford Explorer?
Now you do. You put the drop right on the back of your hand, and you'll see that it'll fall towards the side that you don't want it to. And it was like, what?
It's like, what if I just start raining blows down upon Jeff Goldblum right now?
I just started firing fists at Jeff.
He pulls out that Velociraptor claw he's always got handy and just slits his fucking throat.
I have no evidence to prove this, but I bet David Chappelle smokes around people who don't want to be smoked around all the time. Not giving a fuck.
You think pot or cigs?
I was saying cigarettes, but it could be either.
I bet it's pot. Yeah, he doesn't see. Or is he a cigarette smoker? He seems more like a
I
pot
wish he does smoke cigarettes. Yeah, he smokes them on stage. I would like to live in a world where you could smoke whatever you wanted, wherever you wanted. You should be able to light up one of those old school 1930s stogies right in the fucking premature Insu ward, like wherever they got the babies in those like.
Now, Kyle, if you wanted to take heroin or some other injectable, I'd be on your team because that's a private decision. You should be able to shoot up anywhere you want.
Oh yeah, and when I'm getting the air bubbles out, I'm going to squirt a little in your eye.
When you're smoking, though, you're making a group decision, and that's why you're wrong.
That's right. You got legs. Walk. Well, I mean, I don't care if you don't have legs. I don't care if we're somewhere where everybody's crippled up and they can't get away. I can still smoke my fucking cigarette.
No, that's rude.
It is rude.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that are rude, but
I need you to
illegal
switch to
or against the
injectables
rules.
and be a team player.
And where do we draw the line? When do farts become illegal?
I'm ready. Let's pass the law.
What about body odor? We need some fucking body odor.
Oh,
police.
now
What we
you're
really
on
need.
team group decision. I see how it is.
No, I'm just asking you. You know, where do you draw the line? I can't light one up, but I can go around without fucking deodorant on and just stink the place up.
Just stink it up.
Yeah.
Smelling ass.
Yeah, if you can roll into GameStop at like 11:30 p.m. at night when I'm trying to get Halo 3 and just stink the whole place up so bad that they have to spray air freshener on you, I should be able to light one up.
All right, let's outlaw both. I'm agreeing with you.
You can't take my rights away, nor his. He has the right to stink, and I have the right to smoke.
I have the right to vote.
That's America.
You have the right to get the fuck out of this GameStop.
You have to. Yeah, actually, this is law's been passed, and you're wrong.
Not all laws are right. Clearly,
name
Clearly
one.
not. We had an innocent man jailed for 60 days for nonsense.
Name one law I disagree with.
You should be able to ship yourself pot from other states.
Paint
I
your guns.
think that should be legal. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
I can't even
that's
name
fair.
all four. There's that one. There's painting guns. You should definitely be able to share it with your friends.
Yeah, that's just being cool. Sharing some weed with your girlfriend.
That is the
That's just
definition
being
of cool.
that's just being polite.
You know,
Yeah,
really, I
that's my-
think
The
you
same
should have
way that
explained
Kyle
to
would
your
have also poured a
cellmates
little bit of wine in her glass if he was having.
and be like, "What'd you do?"
The same
I was being cool.
I was being cool.
I was being,
Or as they call it in the state of Georgia, distribution.
I'm in for a year for just being tight, dude.
Well, that's funny. I'm here for
Shit,
being lit.
Me too. I stabbed a guard.
Yeah,
Not
dude,
like
we're both tight. you stabbed that guard because he probably deserved it, and I'm just trying to smoke pot.
Nah. He just looked at me funny.
Yeah, whatever you say, man. Like, dude, I'm on your side. You know that. You know how
You
that would
smell
go,
the pot
Kyle.
throughout the.
I'm on your side. That guy deserved to get sliced.
Kyle, could you smell the pot throughout the barracks? I don't know what to call it, like the sleeping area.
At night, they would smoke outside, and I could smell it all the way to the inside. And I just remember thinking, like, this is such horse shit. Like they're smoking weed right outside. And I obviously couldn't and wouldn't smoke. I got
surprised-
tested as soon as I got out.
I'm surprised to learn they could be outside.
Yeah, there was a lot of outside. You could go outside anytime you wanted. I mean, there was like a curfew.
On TV, it's always like lunch hour, like
Nah, like between the hours of like I don't remember when lockdown was, probably like 9:30 p.m., 10:30 p.m. That's when you're not supposed to go outside anymore until like 5:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning or something like that. But any other time, you can just walk outside and like walk around the track, like walk to the library, walk to the other dormitories and talk to somebody who's there.
do you just walk to the door? Or do you like check out to go outside?
There's way too many people and way too few guards to be like paying attention to any of that shit. The doors aren't locked. There's nobody watching anybody. I mean, that's why it was so scary sometimes. Is like you could murder somebody and the guard's not going to be here for like 3 fucking hours. Nobody will be here for 3 hours. Where's the loan?
Yeah, well, there's cameras. That you don't think there's anyone watching them?
No, there's no cameras in there.
Oh, there is on 60 Days In.
Yeah, because it's a TV show.
Are you trying to tell me the TV show is unreal?
No, I'm trying to tell you that to make a TV show, you got to have a fucking camera.
That doesn't sound right.
Otherwise, it'd be like one of those flip books describing what happened.
It's funny we got 3 new inmates and they're all vloggers.
Yeah, I think there were cameras on the outside that, but they were kind of. I'm trying to think. Were there cameras on the inside? Yeah, maybe there. No, I don't think there were. No, there's no cameras on the inside.
Okay.
I don't think. But in any case, like nobody was monitoring them. I'm sure. Like even if there were cameras, that's like evidence for after you're dead kind of cameras. But yeah, you could go outside anytime you wanted to throughout the day. You could go to the track or the shitty weightlifting area, or there's like a gazebo outside, or the library, or really anywhere. You can just kind of walk around, go to the phones.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I was so sure that you only went outside at certain time, like your yard
time.
Yeah,
that's so funny. On Big Herc's videos, he sells a pre-workout, like mix, and he advertises it at the end of his videos, and it's like, what is it? What's the slogan? It's like convict pre-workout. Get your yard time in. and it like slaps onto the screen. I'm just like, who's buying Big Herc's pre-workout?
And like maybe people who want pre-workout and just really like him. I wonder how that stuff gets created, right? Like, let's say if Taylor makes a fitness channel, does some person work out and say, you know what, we need to slap a Mercadurka label on this pre-existing pre-workout drink, and we'll sell Mercs.
Well, I talked
drink.
to Derek about that, for More Plates, More Dates, because he has his own like brand of products, and he was really specific about the stuff he wanted in them. I'm sure there's like a generic, like, yeah, this is the energy blend. It's what's in everything. You just put your name on this and your label, and we'll sell it. But I think in his case, he was really specific about what he wanted, and he.
Most people aren't subject matter experts at the level that More Plates, More Dates is.
Yeah, that's very true. Have you seen Big Herc's porn?
No.
I was
an actual porn.
Yeah, he's done a lot of porn. So I was watching one of his videos. I don't know what it was, but he answers like viewer comments and like letters and stuff, and then he prints them out on a piece of paper. So he's got the piece of paper, and he's always outside wearing a wife beater, all swole, talking about what somebody wrote. He's like, and I guess somebody brought up his porn, and he was like, a lot of y'all writing in saying, making fun of my penis, saying, Big Herc, I thought you a big dude, you swole. I thought you'd have a big old pee-pee. You're making fun of my pee-pee, like my pee-pee ain't big enough. Sound like you gay to me. Why are you looking at my pee-pee? Why ain't you looking at the female? And I'm thinking like,
you look.
I'm looking at everything, Big Herc. There's two people on camera, and one of them's you, and the camera was on your cock for a good solid 2 minutes straight while you tried to get hard with those 8 cock rings on there. And then like that woman was clearly, you've got the physique to really lay a pounding down, but he would have the smallest penis in this little group we've got going on right here. I would bet solid money on it. Big Herc's he's got maybe 5 inches and not a lot of girth. I like to imagine that Taylor actually got up because he couldn't stand Big Herc penis talk, but I think he's actually got something going on.
It couldn't possibly be that. Yeah.
No, it couldn't possibly be that. But if you just like Google search Big Herc porn, that'll get you right into like a Pornhub like video of him like banging some skeezy stripper lady.
Well, I'm curious. I'll check out his penis.
Yeah, not impressed. And I would have never found it if he hadn't mentioned it on his own show.
The Streisand effect. Yeah, that'll get you. That'll get you. That's Bryan Callen did. I would have never known about his accusations.
Shouldn't have said a word. He's not a big enough celebrity that you'd ever even hear about it. They're not running that shit on CNN.
When you're in the hot seat, it feels like the whole world's thinking about you.
Yeah.
And in reality, no, you're just the center of your world, and most people are not thinking about you.
Yeah, there's some give and take to that, but Bryan Callen is like a super tiny celebrity at the end of the day. Like he's known in like the little MMA community, and that's it.
Yeah, I have a hard time putting my arms around how big the JRE show is. It's pretty big.
It's the biggest show there is,
right? And I think it's the biggest. Like, I think you said it right. It's not the biggest podcast. It's not the biggest YouTube channel. Is there a bigger show on Earth? Right?
No.
I don't know that there's a bigger movie on Earth. I think that if you told me more people have watched a JRE snippet than Endgame, or better yet, all the Marvels combined, I'd be like, yeah, I bet JRE has more views than the whole Marvel series.
I mean, like he does 2 or 3 of those things a week, right? Like,
yeah.
His most recent, not his most recent one, but the one he did last week with Post Malone is 9 million views, and like he's just going to keep cranking those out. Now he did one with Deborah So the other day, and they talked about like sex research, and she's also like in a remote location, so it's only got 1 million views, but it went up yesterday.
1 million's a lot. The other guy was 900,000.
Or 9 million.
Oh, my
Post Malone
mistake.
was 9 million.
Oh, okay. Yeah, every so often Joe has a guest who's not a good enough speaker. And that is, I never think Joe fails to do his job, but you can only go so far with a bad guest. He has one who's a CIA guy who seems to get a lot of views. And I'm like, ooh, I'm interested in his take on this topic. And then 7 minutes in, I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Do you have a point? Can you get to it?
I was so annoyed when Bob Lazar was on. Like that guy,
Is he the guy
the UFO guy. he was having a headache, and it's just like, well, the fuck, man. Like I don't think Bob Lazar has a lot going on. Bob Lazar just annoyed me for a half a dozen different reasons. And there's somebody else that was just really annoying. Oh, the other day he had on those two guys, and they were talking about Skinwalker Ranch and like aliens and all sorts of like nonsense. And they're talking about how there's cattle mutilations on this ranch. And Rogan's like, are there any photos of this? You know, he's being like a normal human being. Like, he's not going like, wow, that's crazy. He's like, so you have any pictures or proof? He's like, oh yeah, we do. He's like, because they're describing this cattle mutilation like something that's completely unnatural. Like, oh yeah, there's these surgical cuts, and they're describing this timeline where it happened in like 30-minute period, and there's no blood on the ground. And he's like, you got any pictures of this stuff? And they show the pictures, and it's like, Rogan's like, yeah, it looks like coyotes got at it. And I'm looking at it like, yeah, coyotes got at that. That's exactly what happened there. It's a fucking calf that died. Because calves don't always live; they just die, and coyotes will kill calves, and the fucking coyotes ate it. Like you could tell, the fucking like scavengers got it, this dead calf, and they ate it.
Yeah, both you and Rogan would have some subject matter expertise on that. Like I get it. Yeah, I don't know. He puts on a good show. He does a good job.
Oh, he's the best. He is the best. I love it. He's moving to Texas, you know.
I thought Colorado.
Texas.
Okay. Well,
unless something's changed very recently.
No, because my information's like 2 years old. So,
yeah, I would think Colorado too, because the weed
and the
weed
hunting.
is quite
I think
illegal.
that's where he vacations to hunt.
Well, Texas has so much hunting, like maybe not the kind that he's into, like that mountainous like elk and.
He's into like hiking, hunting, or something. Yeah, like I picture him climbing with his hands and his feet over the steep embanks to get to
like fucking Gollum going up a mountain with those big every the tip of every finger is like a big toe kind of hands. Yeah, he my guess is he moves to Austin. That seems like more his style, and I doubt they prosecute marijuana crimes there. Austin is a cool fucking city. Shout out to anybody from Austin listening right now. I love fucking Austin, Texas. It's completely different from anywhere else in Texas.
Okay.
Very cool, like hippie kind of trendy party town. It reminded me a lot of Athens, Georgia, but with cowboy hats. It was great.
I've only been to Dallas, so
I've been all over. I like Dallas. Dallas is the big city. Houston is very nice too. Houston's probably my favorite place to like actually have like
Houston's bigger than Dallas.
Yeah, Houston's my favorite place to spend like a few days in because there's lots of nice restaurants, lots of nice hotels, lots of ladies. But Austin is just such a cool party town. Like I met up there with like I think I did that thing that I would always do when I traveled into a new city. Like, hey, on Twitter and Facebook, I'm going to be in Austin tonight. Anyone in Austin? And like 8,000 men are like, me! And like 4 women are like, me! And I'm just like, reply to these 4.
not the other.
No, not the other 8,000. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but one way or another, it turned out that the girl that I had replied back to had a boyfriend, and so she showed up with her boyfriend and 2 more dudes, and they all wore like fucking FPS Russia t-shirts. And so I stayed in character all fucking night. Me, my dad, my friend, and Scott. Like,
how did your dad stay in character?
No, I'm in character. Nobody else has to be in character.
This is just the people he's with.
So you have to be like, yes, this is my dad. Do not pay attention to
that's
how
the
he
best part.
speaks.
That's the best part. So, like, obviously, if I'm Dimitri, then he's not my dad. He works for me, or he works with me. And so there's this point where like, and we're all getting drunker by the minute because like, this is like, I think it's called 6th Street, and it's just bar after bar after bar after bar. There's nothing in between. It's 30 bars in a row or some shit. So we're just going to hit every fucking bar, and there's live music in every one. It's really cool. And so we're in like our 3rd bar or something like that. And I've gone to get drinks, and my dad's getting a little drunk too. And he's sitting there with the fans, and he says to him, I hate that fucking Russian. He doesn't pay us worth a damn. You know what? I'm thinking about I'd just like to knock him the fuck out. When he comes back over and sits down, I think I'm just going to cold cock him. I think I'm just going to knock him the fuck out. And And Dad's telling me the story later on. He's like, they went, no, he'll kill you.
Do you know he has KGB contacts?
Don't do it. He'll kill you.
Is that the one who let you sleep with
dad
his
had a
girl
nice
for a
laugh.
hat? I thought that's where the story was going. Did I make this up? Is that
What's
a
that?
thing? Did you sleep with someone's girl in exchange for an FPS Russia hat?
Oh, my friend did.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, my friend did. I think that was a cuckold situation now that that's
Yeah.
become a thing that people know about. But at the time, it just made no sense to me that I had signed a hat for somebody and now my friend was fucking the guy's girlfriend and the guy was dropping the girlfriend off to be fucked. It just boggled my mind at the time. I couldn't wrap my head around it because she was hot and he was not. None of it made sense to me. I was just so confused. But that was in Lexington, Kentucky. When that happened.
Now
That
it
was
makes sense. Close enough to Alabama.
close. Well, yeah, it's but so I was in fucking character all night with these fucking 4 goobers who loved me apparently. So thank you goobers for buying me all that alcohol. But I just got so fucking drunk that night, and Scott got drunk, and we had to drag him away from the bar. My cousin like literally had to drag him back to the hotel. It was becoming a problem. I think he wanted to fight somebody or he was after a girl or something like that. But Dad had also gotten into some kind of an altercation where like he was flirting with a woman and she was with another girl who had a boyfriend, and like he didn't like Dad talking to the friend of his girlfriend or something like that. So now he's talking about fighting that guy. And I just want to go back to the fucking hotel.
It
And
seems like a lot of shit to keep track of.
it was just some real shenanigans. There was a lot going on. Everybody was fucking shit-faced drunk because these fans were just buying so much alcohol. Everything was free, and we went to like literally 15 or 20 bars. But I'll never forget that. Dad was like that. So I told him, I was like, I think I'm just gonna knock him the fuck out when he comes back over here and sit down. He's like, that guy got all wide out of it. No, don't do it. He'll kill you. He'll kill you.
He's, you know how dangerous he is. He's a KGB asset.
I mean, there's no reason for him not to think that.
Couple hits.
Not to them. Not to them. You know me.
So I read an article. Who's first in line for the COVID-19 vaccine? And
Not me.
I thought it was interesting. Like they have a bunch of people they're throwing out there. So one thing, and by the way, the sort of whole crux of it was that you might not like the answer. So there's a lot of reasons somebody might get in the front. They might hand it out by geography to some extent, right? Like I don't know right now, but say Florida's a hot spot. Maybe Floridians get priority over New Yorkers because that's where the problem is right now. Black people are dying from this at a rate that's higher than white people. Don't know why.
Really?
Don't know if it's blackness, if it's healthcare, or whatever it is.
Because black people live in cities more. Obviously higher population density.
I'd be interesting to see if it's independent of geography,
Right?
If just African Americans just die more.
It's
more
not
often
going to
too.
be independent of geography. It's obviously because black people tend to live in cities.
You got a lot of friends that die of sickle cell?
No. Do you?
No, because I don't have a lot of black friends.
I'm not knowledgeable enough to name them, but there are
I don't know why though.
Things
They watch
that-
the show and then
there are races that are more susceptible to different problems. So for whatever reason, people aren't exactly the same, relative.
No, of
skin
course.
tone.
Well, that is
So-
the thing. Like black people have like different heart medication than white people because of some like heart thing that black people get that white people don't get as often. Like that.
And
That's just
not
medicine.
diet. Okay,
That's just
yeah.
normal.
So there are differences, right? Men and women, not exactly the same. All the races, not exactly the same. Maybe we give out COVID vaccine based on those differences. Maybe it's based on geography. Do we give it out based on job? You might say healthcare workers are in the front, which is a reasonable thing. But the one article I read said, hey, healthcare workers are actually so well taken care of with, is it called PPE, the personal protection stuff?
Yeah.
That they're actually not getting sick like you'd think they are because they're walking
shit.
around like nuclear technicians almost.
Mhm.
So I was right. It's independent of geography. These are rates per 100,000. These are deaths of white people compared to black people throughout various age groups. Let's just started the ones that are easy to click on. 65 to 74 years old. It's 200 black, 38 white. At 75 to 84, 443 black, 120 white.
Maybe it plays on like the virus itself plays on respiratory issues that black people are predisposed to.
Even at young ages, it's like 3 to 4 times as many.
Are black people
It's
predisposed
10
to
to
a
1
respiratory thing?
at 35 to 45 years old. It's 10 to 1.
Is that a thing, Taylor, that you've heard of before? Respiratory?
Yeah, like there are heart issues are the big one I've heard. Is that
one I've heard, yeah.
black people definitely have different heart issues than white people. Like why wouldn't we? We evolved for hundreds of thousands of years apart. Why wouldn't it? Like there'd be different problems. And so, yeah, black people have heart problems that white people don't have, and white people have problems that black people don't have. But it seems to be that is fucking up
Boat repair.
a lot of the black community, unfortunately.
So, yeah, anyway, how they give out COVID vaccine is a topic that people are trying to figure out now because the vaccine could be out like in 4 months or something.
Yeah, I think they should give it to healthcare workers. That should be your first priority.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, first you give it to prisoners to make sure it works.
Actually, I kind of like that.
You don't just start.
I don't like that.
You
Don't worry, Snow.
No.
I will let him use you like a lab rat.
You give this to any and all patients or prisoners who are in there for greater than 60 days. How about that?
So that's funny. But like age might be a consideration. Do you give it out to old people first? I read that this vaccine, and I didn't realize a lot of vaccines are like this, less effective on fat people.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And my immediate thought was, how fat?
It's just because of mass. Like the
What
drug
body fat percentage are we talking here?
Yeah. Like if you don't look fat from like collarbone up, are you okay? But do you maybe just be like, okay, fatty, this barely works on you anyway. We're giving this over to Skinny Mini. I'm not sure.
Just give me 2.
Right? I said age, I said race, geography. Do we just follow the American way and give it out based on ability to pay? Like that's a thing.
Ooh, I like that.
What about retail workers or all kinds? Is
Retail.
Frontline workers, all the essential workers? Do we give it out to those guys first?
Not the cops.
You know what? I'm bored with that too. I like how Kyle's we definitely don't want to give it to jails because that's mean, and we don't want to give it to cops because fuck cops.
Yeah. I don't want to test it on anyone. It should already be tested.
What if we test it on cops?
Oh, I'd love that.
now we're finding common ground.
Now we're on the same fucking page right now. Test it on cops, but let me administer. I want maybe a few of the doses get anyway. Yeah, I think they should probably give it to the healthcare workers and then the people who are most at risk. The older age groups definitely need it. Like this thing isn't killing children. It's not killing people in their 20s. It's killing people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, especially.
So I'm kind of on the kids. One of the problems with kids is they can spread it, right? So like you said, if a guy's 7 years old, he's probably not going to get very hurt by it. Mm-hmm. But he is very likely to get it because he's in a school, right? That's a perfect place for transmission for something like this. He's going to bring it home. So maybe want that kid to not bring it home, make him vaccinated. Maybe.
In an ideal world, like that would be great. If we had an infinite number of doses, like maybe we start with the kids. But if they're limited, there's a whole lot fewer old people than there are 8-year-olds.
I'm just trying to prevent an outbreak. That would be the thought process,
Too late for that.
Okay.
It's too late for that shit. No, I think you got to give it to the people who might die next month if they don't get it today. The Herman Cains of the world who literally got it and were dead in 30 days.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting moral quandary, right? There's no, and here is an interesting moral quandary. I think the life of a 7-year-old is maybe more valuable than the life of a 77-year-old.
No, I don't do that.
No?
I think they're all equally valuable.
Okay.
Well, depending on race, of course, but I think they're all equally valuable.
I would put it on myself.
Age goes.
If I was 77 and they said, Woody, you are the 7-year-old gets it, I'd be like, take me. I'm done. It's been cool. It's been a great ride. This guy's barely started.
Fuck that. No.
Really? Okay.
If he gets it, he gets the fucking sniffles. If I get it, you're burying me in September. No thanks.
That is true.
Like-
It's not the equal outcome. I had this like hostage situation.
If the ship's going down, that's one thing,
Yeah,
right?
sure,
If
that
I'm
works.
75 and the ship's going down, put little Timmy in the life raft. I can dog paddle a little, like it'll be all right. Maybe it's my time, but I mean, you and I both have older parents. Like,
Sure.
I'm sure we would want them to get it before ourselves. It just makes more sense because I think I'd survive it. I think you'd survive it. I think all of us would. We're relatively healthy individuals who have enough money to like rest and get some vitamins in us or whatever the fuck we need to do. But like my dad's in his mid 60s and your parents are even older and
70s.
It might not go well for them. They need it. They need that vaccine.
Yeah.
I want it though. If they were like, go to CVS tomorrow, $150, they'll jab you in the arm and you'll get it. I'm down. But I'm looking at the machine that needs to be in place to get 300 million Americans vaccinated. They don't even have the vials to put 300 million. They don't have 300 million vials to put vaccine in. They don't have like the healthcare workers required to administer it would be an army. They need this. They need the option to self-administer this thing. I think you need to be able to order this.
Almost.
I think you need to be able to order it off the internet, have it delivered to your door. Hey, Amazon, and I can inject it myself. I'm sure it's intramuscular. Just put it in your deltoid and you're done.
Yeah.
In your delt. Oh, I don't like.
Where
that.
would you want to inject it? You gonna do an intravenous? And I mean, I think it needs to be intramuscular anyway.
If I had to pick an intramuscular area, it would be thigh.
I was gonna say quad, same place. Yeah. Is that where it goes in your thigh? Maybe not.
Yeah, right in your
Yeah,
quad.
it would go in your upper quad, like by your hip pocket. But you need a bigger needle if you're doing that. If you're trying to get intramuscular, you can get intramuscular in your deltoid with an insulin syringe.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, the deltoid just being this,
Yeah.
just little.
Someone's not
No.
watching More Plates, More Dates.
Yeah. You do like a 29 gauge needle. Wouldn't hurt at all.
Not more plates, more dates. You got to be watching Jujimufu.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to ask Jujimufu if he was on any gear. And I was like, I think people don't ask that.
I think he's said before he's not, but he is also outrageously huge. Like you see, Kyle, have you watched some videos of him actually doing stuff with his shirt off? He is enormous.
Yeah.
I've seen him shirtless. He's incredibly ripped and like
Strong.
10% body fat or something like that. So
People who
my
use
guess-
gear look like him.
Yeah, my guess is he's on something for sure. But who knows?
Right.
Maybe he's just got an incredible work ethic like no other human being who exists. Like people that look like that generally are on something. If nothing else, like some sort of TRT or that something that they're calling TRT, which is really several hundred milligrams a week.
You know what I like is I like this new trend where we can rip on people for using supplements like that, and I'll just be like, no. This is the all natural bod. This is the bod you get when you lift really heavy 5 or 6 times a week, and that's it. You lift heavy and you eat a lot.
Taylor might not know because I talked about it on PKA. I hurt my back. I hurt my back doing nothing, and I had been so good. I've been working out again. I had been like, I don't know. I think it was Juju actually. He was like, I'm just doing something every day. I think he's doing 2-a-days and stuff. And I was like, all right, fuck it. No more 0 days. If it's 11:50 and I haven't touched a weight, I'm busting out like, 20 push-ups and 10 pull-ups or just like something every fucking day.
Good.
No 0 days.
Well, it didn't go well. Hang on. Don't praise him yet. The wheels came off the tracks.
It's kind of. I don't think it's related, but you guys can judge for yourselves. I was like, I don't know, 14 days into this or so, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, and I'm almost feeling proud, right? Just because there's fucking no 0 days, and I'm sticking to it. I'm handling the recyclables. So in my house, we get this like leaning tower of Pisa of like boxes and shit, and then I finally catch up, which means break them down, put them in the trash can, take the rest, and burn them. I'm just making all these trips to the fire pit to burn them, and boxes like fall off the top, so you bend over 50 times. I hurt my back a lot. I'm like crippled now. I can hardly get out of bed. I can hardly stand. I tried to carry a plate with food on it. And I'm like, Colin, you're going to have to do this. I need every like handrail next to the stairs. I'm actually getting better. I feel like my last 2 days have been better than the days before. But like the back pain is so bad. And you know how you hurt like this part of your forearm and you're like, you never really realized how often I use that. No one says that about your back, right? It's intuitively obvious how
Everyone
often
knows how much you use your back.
you use your back constantly. Everything hurts. Go ahead.
I would say it's one of the most important parts of the body.
You're gonna love this, Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did the doctor call the injury?
Old man back.
No,
He fucking called it old man back.
Yeah,
And
you got
He
an
kept
old
calling
man.
it
dude,
that throughout the interview.
like 6 or 8 times during the conversation, he said the term old man back. And it's like, fuck you.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. I went to, do you remember what it was called? Was it Doctors on Demand or something? Some website to go to a doctor.
Yeah, I don't remember yours. Mine's ZocDoc. That's the one I like to use, but I don't call yours.
Yeah, it wasn't that one, but I'm sure it was comparable. So I basically did an online doctor. So it was a pretty neat experience. I hurt enough that like getting an appointment, first of all, do you get it right away? And second, like getting into a car and driving and walking and sitting in a waiting room, all that stuff seemed unattractive to me. And a friend of mine had done like an online doctor and got a muscle relaxant for his back pain, which is kind of what I had in my head. So I meet with the guy, we do a video conference, and I just sort of lay out like who I am, how old I am, and how I heard it. And just super quickly, lifting boxes didn't hurt very much at the time. There was no like catastrophic, like ow type thing. It was like, oh, it's hurting, 2 out of 10, but I powered through it and kept making it worse. 2 hours later, after everything's done, it's like a 4 out of 10. It's attention grabbing. And then by that night, I'm like 9 out of 10 pain. Like it's really concerning. It's a big deal. And so it wasn't like a motorcycle accident or something. It just slowly came on. So I lay that out there. He says a muscle relaxant is not going to help me. He's like, you haven't said anything about spasms. And I'm like, no, that doesn't really describe
I will
me.
if I need to, though.
If I thought it would help. You know, he even like offered to prescribe it. He's like, I can prescribe it. Like, it's not an addictive thing. It's not a thing that people go for. But, you know, if you want it, you can have it, but it's not going to help you. So that didn't seem attractive. And basically, we upped my ibuprofen. But the experience of doing an online doctor was a totally positive one. He seemed really qualified. I liked that he was about my age. I liked that he had 2 back surgeries. Lucky me. This is a guy who like has experienced what's going on. And he basically just set me up, gave me some exercises, advised a lot more ibuprofen than I was taking, and I'm starting to feel better. That's where I am. But if you ever get sick and you're like, I don't know, not dragging your ass to an actual in-person doctor, try the online thing. Because from the time I like clicked on the website to actually was video conferencing with a person was less than 15 minutes.
That's cool.
So that's a big
And
deal.
it was fairly cheap, even though you think you might have messed up your insurance a little bit. Like $75 is.
Yes. Yeah. I paid $75 and I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, but it turns out when you go to the place, there's like, no exaggeration, like 60 Blue Cross Blue Shields. And I felt like I chose it wrong or something. Yep. Is it, we agree on that?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
I think we're going to call it a wrap there. PKA 503. Are there any... Wait, did we do SmartMouth?
Get yourself some SmartMouth. It's a great mouthwash. Get yourself settled. It's great. Fucking use SmartMouth. If you don't buy SmartMouth, they're going to be mad at me. So buy some fucking SmartMouth. That's the raid.
Support Taylor. Buy SmartMouth. There's a link.
If you don't buy SmartMouth, I'll take it as a personal affront. Buy SmartMouth. So, sorry. Sorry, I fucked that up.
Painkiller Already, episode 503.